just
Gaymaster.
RPing. We don't even need to
Oh
fight,
no,
guys.
the cameras are all fucked. What'll I do?
Oh no! Oh wait!
I don't know why
Move around
Craigbot
real
is
fast.
there. You dick. Oh goodness.
Because
Great.
they feel like they're important, apparently.
Well, Craigbot can die in a fire. Hi everybody.
No, it can't. I need the audio.
Yes,
Wow.
Yes, fair. Hi everybody. Welcome
There's
to
Echo.
God, I don't even know what day it is anymore. December 23rd.
Hey,
Almost Christmas.
right? Yeah.
We're in the
Christmas
throes of
Eve.
Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Kwanzaa's coming up. There's like a whole other 14 holidays in the winter months. So
So many.
happy winter solstice, happy Yule.
Yeah, winter solstice.
But tonight we are here to be lesbians.
Hey.
Yeah. Thirsty Sword Lesbians by April Kit Walsh. Wonderful system. We played it in June.
And July.
And July. That's right. We did the second part in July. It was wonderful. It was fun. It was sexy. It was all the things that I love as a person who binges romance novels.
Who is sexy?
Like
Yeah.
super bad. But before we get into the nitty gritty, as it were, just a couple of announcements. Tonight our sponsor is Canadian Dice. You can go to
Yeah.
canadiandice.ca and use the code TheVectair, all one word, for 10% off your dice order. It's not going to make it by Christmas, but it could make it by Chinese New Year. Maybe?
Definitely.
Assuming
as
it doesn't
well,
get stuck in customs like all my stuff did.
that too. There is that, and there was talk of a Canadian postal strike. I haven't heard anything about it, but whatever. And this crazy weather that
Yeah.
Canada is currently experiencing in mine and Ryan from Canadian Dice's neck of the woods. It's a little bit nuts. So if for whatever reason the stream goes down, it's because my power went out. Pray for me because it's negative 35 Celsius outside. It's gonna be fine. It's fine. That's what blankies are for.
The same snowstorm that's hitting them is hitting me. So
Yeah.
at the same time, it's great.
Yeah.
We've
for
had
sure.
people lose power all the way down in North Carolina, so
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's pretty crazy. Um,
and ice.
yeah, it's nuts. So if you are out and about tonight and tomorrow in my area, first of all, don't. But if you have to go out, just be careful. Drive slow. Take
Yes,
extra time. Don't be an asshole. Second of announcement, Extra Life. That's what we're doing this craziness for. And we actually made our extended goal of $1,500.
Thanks,
No.
Liz.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
So awesome. Liz pushed us over the top. Liz, we love you. I'm going to get something special for you in the mail just because you are the biggest supporter that we've had financially for Extra Life. So it'll probably be a little bit just again because of weather and holidays, but I'm going to send you something pretty cool. Not because it's cold. I hate myself. Our next one shot is on Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern. It is the Planetoid of Misfit Toys. It is a Spelljammer holiday one shot with DM Jeremy. After that, on Friday, we have The Frozen Spire, which is a familiar problem by the Darrington Press. You may have seen it on Critical Role.
Yep.
We are going to be playing that system, and that'll be with DM Emily / Corvée from Corvée's Miniatures. And yeah, wear
Our
a
final
mask,
one?
get vaccinated, don't be an asshole. It's the holidays, be nice to people, mind your business.
Be nice to retail workers, for the love of God.
Oh
God.
my god.
Be
Yeah,
nice to
that's
retail
Please.
workers
Be nice
and
to
food
me,
service
please.
workers. They are giving you a service, they are not your servants.
Mhm.
So don't be an asshole. I guess that's just what it comes down to. Circle back. All right, so we're just going to go around the table and introduce ourselves, starting with our Gaymaster for the night, Keisha.
Hi everybody, I'm the Gaymaster Keisha. I am one half of a podcast called Potions and Potpourri, which we talk mostly about D&D, but other TTRPGs as well. We just have a lot of fun. It's a very casual chat. You can hit us up on Instagram, especially. We're very active on that. Yeah, I'm very excited about the game tonight. It's going to be a lot of love and a lot of gay, and it's going to be oh so lovely.
It's gonna be super gay, and I'm here for it.
Oh, I'm so ready.
That's
It's
why
kind
we're
of in the
here.
name.
Is for the gay.
All right, next up we have Aaryn.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi
I'm
there.
Aaryn. I'm Aaryn. I am business director over at Even Footing Games. We write a TTRPG called Babies and Broadswords, which most people on Vactaire have played by now. And
We love it.
and yeah, our books are available Drive-Thru RPG, Amazon, and you can order them through any of your friendly local game stores or bookstores. You just have to probably ask them to carry it. But you can find us at Even Footing Games on all the social platforms, TikTok and the Instagrams and whatnot.
Absolutely, you can. And you may actually recognize Babies and Broadswords other than the one-shot that we just did last week. We actually gave away the expansion Crawl of Cthulhu during our Spooktober one-shots. So those went out a couple weeks ago because I suck at mailing.
Yeah, that actually reminds me. I have some books that if you guys want to give away, we should definitely do more of that.
Absolutely, we'd love
Aw.
to. We
And
love
I have
we
the
love
mail.
Babies and Broadswords. It's so silly
So
and
good.
fun. It's so great. Next up, we have Nettle, who is a new face to our stream. But
Hello.
we love them. Tell us about you, Nettle.
Hi. I'm Nettle. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter. Probably not Twitter for much longer though. As Nettle Baby with 2 Y's. I am an artist and a TTRPG player. Always down to join a game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Nettle, your art that I've seen so far has been amazing. I am
Thank you.
in awe of your ability.
Thank you very much.
You're
Aw.
welcome. Kayla.
Yeah, I'm Kayla. I'm the second half of the Potions and Potpourri podcast with Keisha. We are everything Keisha said that we are, a casual chat Dungeons and Dragons podcast where we have no script and just go off the rails talking about stuff that has to do with Dungeons and Dragons and TTRPGs. I also play in the Spelljammer stream every other week with the Cantrips and Coffee Dudes, which is super fun, and I'm also in Dungeon Daddy Rick's from Hammer of the Gods, Pandora's Strixhaven game.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. I forget. I'm in that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Aaron's in that too. That's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. Potions and Potpourri, amazing podcast.
Aw.
So much fun to listen to. You can get it wherever you find your podcasts. And
Thank
you
you.
definitely should, because we got lots of friends in the podcast world, and you should love all of them. But Potions
That's
and
right.
Potpourri, like, the most, other than Hammer of the Gods and Cantrips and Coffee and
Yeah.
Even
Old
Footing
Men
Games
Only Dice.
presents whatever.
Old Men Only Dice, yeah.
Just look
We're
at
not
all of
picking
those.
favorites.
Just all of them.
Love us all equally.
I do. I do. I don't have a favorite.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Definitely not Jeremy.
No, it's
Not yet.
definitely not Jeremy. Artemis.
Yeah, I'm Artemis, and I'm the content coordinator and social media manager for the Vactaire. I just live here now.
Yay!
It changes on a day-to-day basis of what I do around here, but yeah, I lately have been working on podcasts and art, and yeah,
Yeah,
because who
that's
needs
true.
sleep?
Artemis
I love your
does all the character. Artemis does all the character art for both of our campaigns on Mondays and Fridays, and we just dropped some new art that's fucking beautiful. And if you're not following us on Instagram, you will not get the sneak peek. But if you watch us coming Monday the 2nd and Friday the 16th,
What?
when's Fixius? 13th.
No, the 6th.
Oh, we
Oh.
are coming back the 6th. I thought we were doing a one shot.
Yeah, Keisha. Well, we're doing the one shot on there, but I mean, Fixius itself will be back on the 13th. Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
so-
Friday the 13th? Dope!
Oh.
I love it.
And you
Oh,
guys
I
get to fight a
love
hag
that.
that night.
Yeah, we
Yes!
do.
Oh, wait.
Fun.
Oh, no.
Oh boy.
It's not my
Ugh.
fault that you're gonna be gone, Keisha.
But yes, very lovely character art. Can't wait for you to see it. If you haven't followed us on Instagram, go do that, because all the sneak peeks are going to be up there with little tidbits about all the characters that are being posted. Freaking adorable, and I love them, and I'm so excited to make a new layout to go with it, because ADHD makes me want to make pretty things.
No, I'm sorry.
No,
Hey.
it's fine. Speaking of, I'm Affy. This is my shit. I made all the shit. also
Yeah.
make shit.
Yeah, you did.
I make all the layouts. I do all the graphics other than the character art because I do not have that particular set of skills. I have big picture brain, and Artemis takes the big picture and makes it little pictures and more manageable, while I have executive
Have the-
dysfunction.
Golden retriever energy.
Yeah, that's it.
That or just like a lack of massive amounts of sleep. Either one.
Absolutely. Both. Everything. All of that. So,
All of the
yeah.
above.
Thank you for joining us, all of these lovely players and the game master, and take it away, Keisha. It's all on you now.
Okay.
Don't panic. Don't panic.
Okay.
Fun. It's cool. We're cool.
All right. All right, everybody. Welcome to the game. We're just gonna hop right into it. Everyone will have a chance to introduce their characters momentarily. So just give it a moment and we'll get to that point. So. All right. Here is the story in a nutcracker shell. You all have been invited as the champion of your society to participate in the annual Yule Duel. This 12-day festival is celebrated at the end of the year in remembrance of Everpeace, a treaty created by societies across all the land, each vowing to uphold the promise of peace and goodwill between all who agree to the treaty. It is during the time of Yule that all participants meet on neutral ground in a safe and composed manner, where they can work out any issues between differing sides, as well as make any new propositions to strengthen their alliances. For the past 132 years, the Yule Duel has successfully mitigated wars and attacks between the participating societies. But there is some unease this year, as there are rumors certain societies are planning something nefarious for this year's Yule. Something that could break the Everpeace itself and change everything in a terrible way. Perhaps those who plan this are simply misguided and need a hand in seeing the error of their ways. Others, though, may be a bit more of a lost cause, and the only way to prevent their plan is to defeat them with the most powerful force in all the land: love.
Yay.
We begin. Gay.
So gay.
We begin with our champions making their way to the castle of Queendom Auralia, each of you a representative of your home society, specifically chosen for your strength of heart and will. It is on your shoulders to bring forth any issues your society has been facing this past year, as well as finding a way to either help or resolve said issue. You are each equipped with a soul sword, specially crafted to suit your person perfectly, and to use in any duels that you are most likely to participate in. You are also allowed to bring one item of your choice, an item that is generally used to gift to another fellow champion as a proposal of sorts, perhaps in the form of an alliance, a friendship, or more. Though there is much pressure on you to do your best in embodying your society as a whole, you're also here to get a chance in riding upon the infamous Armistice Sleigh, an honor only given to those deemed worthy of sitting upon it. And those who are worthy are very few indeed. But enough of that. Let us proceed with the story. You are all approaching the castle, a massive and striking work of art that rests atop the highest mountain in the northernmost point of this world. The crystal structures glitter and gleam in the fading light of the day as the sun begins to settle in for the night. Hints of the rainbow aurora borealis already beginning to dance across the sky. You are each approaching the palace separately. So, if everybody could please go ahead and just roll your 2d6, and from there we're going to decide who is going to introduce their characters first.
Gotta get dice.
Off to a great start.
6 for me.
Or
4.
Oh, 2 4s, huh?
I'm so prepared.
Nettle, what did you say you rolled? Did
a
you
4.
say a 4? And Aaryn?
Muted.
Muted.
Oh no.
An 8.
All right, thank you. What'd you get, Kayla?
10.
10. Well, nicely done. So you will get to start.
Oh,
What is
goody.
it? First of all, what is it that you were either writing or that you were writing on or writing in? What
Yes.
is it that you are arriving upon as you get towards those stairs leading up into the castle? What is
Well,
everyone seeing?
I'm riding on what would be just an oversized elk that has like arching golden horns that kind of come back behind its head to form this kind of like elongated, almost like cage across its back. It's not even like a cage, it just goes across the top of the back, but it provides like a shelter for me as I ride on him. His name is Rudy.
That's
And
amazing.
So I'm riding on his back with this like very cushioned saddle, just kind of covered with blankets, and there's like bags off the side that have all kinds of stuff in it. There's like pots and pans hanging off of it. And there's almost like a whole little house on this thing.
And please describe your character as you descend from your mount. What is it that you look like? What is it that you are wearing for this very special event?
Absolutely. So I am Dandy Frostcake. Dandy is wearing a spaghetti strapped, sparkling, like sequined green dress with like a big slit up the side. And you would notice right away that Dandy is actually very small. She's probably the size of like a gnome or a halfling. So even though this elk is like only slightly bigger than a normal elk, she is pretty small upon his back and fits really well on him. And yeah, she's wearing this glittering green sequin spaghetti strap dress that just fits her so nicely and has her sword on her hip displayed for all to see.
Magnificent. And you are the first to descend these stairs that are leading up into this massive courtyard that has been specially prepared for the champions. As you walk up these steps, you see this very spindly, frail, almost mousy looking man. He's holding this large roll of parchment before him. It's almost larger than himself. He's almost kind of struggling as he's trying to hold on to it. He has tiny, tiny little spectacles that he's trying to continuously adjust as he's trying to look for your name. He looks at your face and he's, oh, okay, yes. And then he clears his throat and says, "The Dandy Frostcake of the Coven of Vixens approaches." And up.
Okay.
And do you take a moment to pose or do anything as you are at the top of the stairs for all below to look upon you? How do you proceed? How do you make your entrance?
I think Dandy would just smile and wave at everybody for a second, and then just descend slowly down the stairs.
All right. And while everyone is introducing their characters as they describe what they arrive in or how they arrive, their dress and how they present themselves, the rest of you have an opportunity, if you so choose, to give a string. If this person strikes you in a way that is intriguing to you, this is the first time that you are all introducing yourselves. This is your first impression. So it is your choice. If there is someone that you go, I think I like that. I think I am intrigued. Feel free. This is
Can
not
I
required.
give Dandy a string because I want to pet their giant elf?
Is that what we're calling it now?
Yes.
How much innuendo can we get in the first 10 minutes of the game?
I know.
We'll see. I'm doing my best.
We've only introduced one character. Just wait.
I know.
I love it.
Dande can also take a string on Mariah. Just because she's small and adorable, and Mariah's torn between wanting to hug her and punt her.
Okay, so I'm also getting one from Mariah. So I got Ginger and Mariah. Great, thanks.
Yes. I think that's how it works, that you would get
I get the
the
string.
strings on
It's
their
Ben. Yeah.
yes. So like it's like
And I forgot to describe that I have like armor shoulder plates, but they're very fashionable looking. You know, they're silver. They kind of go down to the shoulder here, but they cover the shoulders a little bit more, so it's almost like a nicely made armor as if for a gala.
beautiful. Following that entrance will be Aaryn. Please describe how you arrive, what you are dressing, all that jazz.
So I'm playing Holly Frankincense, and she is sort of awkward and stiff, kind of marching up to the steps. She has sort of a very dark uniform, kind of like, you know, with buttons and things that looks kind of official, but like maybe she's not used to wearing that. Like maybe she had no idea what to wear, and so just, you know, kind of wore the first thing that she thought might be appropriate. And just she's pretty tall and just very, very stiff in her movements. And I forgot what else I was supposed to say. Yes, she's tall and kind of thin, and
What did she arrive in? What kind of
she
carriage
marched.
or
she
just all right,
marches.
you just
Yeah.
walked the whole way. Love
At
it.
least as far as she's telling anybody, she marched here.
Excellent. So you descend those stairs and you see Fettersworth like frantically looking over at you and like double checking himself and like holy frankincense of the city of Dusher. And he like gives a little bow as
And
you
Holly
alight
gives
atop
a
the
really
stairs.
awkward salute.
Like to him or to like
Yeah.
the audience. Okay.
Oh, she does both. She's not really sure what she should be doing.
Wonderful.
She's like, maybe.
Oh, he immediately stands at attention and goes back to his list. All right, any strings for that one?
I already gave her one before we got started, so
Okay.
she's got one
Fair
from
point.
me.
All right, next up will be Affy.
Hello, I'm playing Mariah Bing, who is a average height, average shaped person. Very dark clothing that she arrives in, very flowing. It's hard to get a kind of read on her body shape. Even when she steps, there's some hint of like thick thighs and thick hips, but not, enough to actually like latch on and say, yes, that person has a nice ass. It's too flowing. She arrives on by dog sled, actually. An entire fleet of
String.
dogs.
String. Take a string.
Take a string.
Yes,
Okay.
I agree. Take a string.
All right. And actually, when she does arrive, she's completely bundled up in like furs and leathers. But as she's like moving up the stairs, she's like throwing all this off. And like her handmaiden person is like gathering it all up behind her. And the dogs come with her into the gala, barking around her feet as she enters. Hard to see her face or anything because she's got her cloak kind of pulled, but she moves it enough that you can make out just a couple of tendrils around the face of kind of curly black hair and eyes that are this mix between blue and purple.
Ooh.
All right, very mysterious.
We went so
And then-
similar with our character descriptions. It's funny.
Wow, why does that not surprise me?
I
Right.
think we've been playing together too much.
Probably.
And as you make your entrance with all of the little dogs, like, kind of bounding around and barking at your feet, even one of them, like, comes bounding over to Feathersworth, and kind of, like, he turns and he goes, ah! And he, like, gets mauled by this really lovely, very, like, adorable, fluffy little
down.
thing.
Down, girl.
It's okay. That's okay. Dogs love me. And I love dogs. And he gives
All
them
right.
very, very lovely, like, little scritches. And then he straightens his coat and stands up and unrolls that giant scroll. Mariah Bing, clan of soaring comets, approaches.
Thank you. And I just move back into the gala and try to disappear into a corner, which isn't exactly easy with the gaggle of dogs that I have.
I was gonna say, you attempt to do this, but...
You definitely get a string from Mariah, too.
I
Or
am
from
Mariah.
Miracle. Sorry, Miracle. We have M names, okay? I'm sorry.
It's
We've
okay.
been messing that up all
You
night.
guys are the same person. Might as well.
We're the fucking M&Ms tonight. It's great.
I know. As soon as you said that, I was just like, yes. All right. Nettle, if you would like to go next.
Hello. I am Ginger Jinglefig. I'm from Donner's Grove. I work in the nursery. I rode here on my carved wooden sleigh. It's not particularly well carved, but you know. My dress is made of like tree bark, a bunch of different tree bark. It doesn't look
Whoa.
very comfortable. It's not very comfortable, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, sounds really cool.
You would definitely get a string from Holly.
I thank you.
Same with Mariah, who understands fashion over comfort.
Thank you. I feel seen.
I see you. I see you.
All right. And as you become the next one to come up those long, long, glittery stairs, Feathersworth, once again, Ginger Jinglefig of Donner's Grove.
That is I.
Indeed. I'm very good at my job.
Yes, you are. You must have studied for months.
No idea.
Aw.
You see there's like giant bags under his eyes, like one is twitching just a little bit from lack
Same.
of
buddy.
sleep.
Big mood there. Big mood.
All right, and last but not least, by any means, Artemis.
Yeah, so riding on, so think of Treasure Planet, the sort of like two-person skiff that they have to go down to the planet.
Yes.
She descends from the sky in one of those and steps out wearing she has long sort of black cherry colored hair that falls just past her shoulders, very curly. It's shaved on one side, and she has amethyst colored eyes. And she's wearing a long, sort of floor length black dress that has like thin straps, and sort of starting from those straps and going down, sort of upping the bust and then down along her hips, is like silver embroidery that looks like lightning. And it sort of follows down like along over her butt and then down the train. And the only other noticeable thing that she has is around her waist. She wears a belt with you can see that there's a sword there.
Take a string.
String.
She Miracle already has a string for me as well. It was pre-planned.
You guys being prepared. What the shit is this?
I know. What's that like?
You didn't
So
say
as
your
you
name.
make your way up,
Oh, yeah, so my name is Miracle Ivysleigh.
Thank you for reminding me. Miracle Ivysleigh from Blitzandria!
as he brings you forward.
She looks, so this dress, like, it might be very pretty, but it looks like a dress that she probably hasn't worn for a while, and she looks nervous. She's been to hundreds of these functions, still nervous, every time. She just kind of nods at him and slowly descends the stairs, kind of like eyeing the crowd for anybody that she knows.
There is one who you know especially. It is actually the very one who is sitting directly across from all of you as you had ascended these stairs, and you're at the very top being introduced, and then you descend even more. It's kind of a weird pyramid of stairs for show, who knows. As soon as you reach the top, you manage to look directly across from you on the other side of the courtyard, and sitting very gracefully is Queen Adira. And she is the one who is noting everyone who is making an appearance. And every time Fettersworth introduces each one, she gives a little nod of acknowledgement and kind of notes where you go and what you're doing before moving on to the next one. Queen Adira, of course, this year is the hostess for the Yule Duel. She is one of the few societies that has no issues to bring forth, no propositions to announce, and so she was one of the ones that was chosen to host all of this. She herself is going to be the judge for all that transpires here. So she is going to remain neutral in all things, unbiased. And she is the first person that you would technically see once you arrive at the top of the stairs, and then we can descend down into the small crowd that is all awaiting. And every time you all have announced yourselves, like there's like a smattering of claps, you know, very gently and politely, but a little bit awkwardly, because this is a first for all of you. This is the first time you've all been a champion of your own society. So there's just a little bit of that, just like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't really know who you are, but you know, we're all in this together.
Holly will like put her hand up like at her side and kind of wave at Miracle. Like, because I heard Miracle being announced, so I wave.
I make a beeline for Holly.
I am. Dandy is over at the snack table, and she is helping herself to snacks. But she is also kind of like tasting them and like looking up at the sky thoughtfully and just kind of deciding if she thinks that they're good or if they need a little bit more salt or how she could improve the recipe herself, because she's quite good in the kitchen. And then she's also trying to sneak snacks to Mariah's dogs.
Mariah is aware of this, but doesn't make any indication to stop the meats and the cheeses and the crackers from making their way
Great.
into the dogs' mouths. They're all very happy to get treats, and yeah, she's just kind of watching, making sure you're not going to do something foolish like feed them chocolate or something.
Yeah.
All right, so there's already a bit of mingling already starting. Feathersworth continues on introducing others. Some may be of very little interest to you, some may be of very particular interest to you. Some of the people that he introduces are
The Silent Night of the Holy Knights.
and you see clanking up the stairs is a person who's just fully covered in this beautiful, glittery white, but just like ringed with a little bit of red armor, and doesn't even acknowledge him, just continues on down the stairs before he even manages to finish. And so he has to hurry and scramble on to the next person.
Carol Krampus of New Grincha. I can't help but just say that with the woof on your face. I'm sorry.
And you see this like beast of a woman. She is just ripped with muscle. She almost looks as if she was just carved from stone itself and just suddenly came to life. You can see she has this very just downward turn of a frown just plastered on her face. Her nose turned high. You can already tell she's ready to ask to speak to your queen immediately.
Oh no.
She makes her way down very proudly down the steps. Next up, you hear
Noel Bell of Tiny Tinselton.
and you see just this very, very, very small, frail-looking woman. So spindly. She just has these like very raggedy clothes. You can tell that for her, that's probably the best she has, but still looks pretty meager compared to most who are dressed here. And she, with her like scraggly hair that she tries to, help cover her face as much as she can, she alights the stairs, and as soon as he yells that, she immediately goes, "Oh!" and tries to like tiptoe her way down, trying to get the tension away from her. The next one up, he announces
Agatha Noggin of the North Star Monastery, one of our honored guests for the evening.
and you see this very curvaceous, voluptuous woman, like dressed very nicely in all of these like silks and just very exposed in many ways. But you can tell that she
Okay.
is proud of it. She is all right with the show that she's presenting.
Me too.
And she goes over to Feathersworth and gives him a little wink before she just sashays her way down the stairs. All right, with any eyes that are upon her. The next one up, Feathersworth turns and he gives almost a pause, and then he turns back and he says,
Bigly Buffman from the kingdom of Heteronormia.
You can already tell just from his announcement that even he is like, really? And you see this man, massive chest with that V-cut hair just bulging out of it, and just this chiseled chin, and this horrible, like, yes, kind of smile as he makes his way up and he looks down at all the women as he is used to doing where he is from, and just gives a grin and a wink and makes a little pose with his muscles. Just, oh yes, I know what the ladies want, and it is arrived.
Vagina. What?
Ignore this guy.
And he makes his way down. At his side is somewhat of a similar version of himself, but younger and smaller, and obviously much more timid. You can tell is his son. And Feathersworth continues like,
Oh, and,
he reads his note.
and Son Claus. That's all it says. Alright then.
And you see that the son is very much shy and almost embarrassed by his father's appearance. And he begins to walk down the stairs too. You note that Bigley makes eye contact with Queen Adira, and he gives this whole like, yes, as he walks down the stairs. And Adira, forced to be very neutral in all things, just gives that alright smile, like,
I
we
would
will
like
get on with it.
to subtly throw something like a cupcake into his path so he steps on it and possibly.
Subtly, okay. Alright.
Banana
I would
peels.
I
say.
like this.
And I'd like to use. I mean, it's up to you. I'd like to use deft fingers. It's sort of like a sleight of hand thing, mainly for stealing
agree with
things,
that.
but like reversing, reverse steal.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Go for it. You snag a cupcake.
10 with my grace plus.
Alright, excellent. That is an upbeat. So, describe that scene as you successfully do this.
So I've stood up at this point, hearing this alpha male's name, and I'm moving to stand next to Dandy. I pick up a cupcake and kind of hold it up to her, like, what do you think? Good?
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Perfect. I lick a bit of frosting, you know, making a very, very obvious sort of inclination, and just
Oh my.
pitch it over my shoulder and wait.
Oh no.
And it's just the perfect arc. You're not even looking. You don't have to. You know his trajectory. You know exactly where he's going. You can hear him. He's making it obvious. You throw it over, and it lands perfectly. And it like flips around and it just lands like just sitting upright so beautifully with that little lick mark in the middle. And he walks forward and takes a big step, and you hear a squelch, and he just whoop and biffs it. He lands hard on the ground. You just hear go, as he
So-
Andy
falls.
just starts giggling.
With me using my playbook move, I can choose 2. So on buff, I would like to create an opportunity. Because he fell, he's hurt his back.
Oh yes, you hear him go, and he kind of twists a little bit from that twinge in his back. Oh no!
And he doesn't know I did it.
Oh, absolutely not. And he
That's
immediately, he reaches an arm out, desperate. He's, Claus, lift me up. Claus just pulls up his father, and he's like looking around very angrily, like, who? And he like flicks back his hair, just. Anyways, and he kind of like limps the rest of the way down.
I just wink at Dandy, take another cupcake, and go. This one I'll actually eat.
I like that.
I liked that. And there are others, of course. There are a few other champions that are called to, none that are necessarily of import to the rest of you, but they are known to you. A few examples are Ramora and Astericea of the Far Lands, a very well-known and hot couple of the year. They currently don't have any issues because they managed to resolve them themselves behind closed doors, some say. But nonetheless, they are honored guests. You also hear of these other worlders, one called a Knight Ravelin and her companion Crixus from a faraway mysterious land that are here for unknown reasons. You also hear the names of King Warshesh, Worcestershire.
Worcester.
Worcestershire. An impossible name. And his beautiful queen, Cordelia, newlyweds. Also here as honored guests, among many other names that may be familiar to you. So everyone is introduced, they make their appearances, everyone has their first impressions. And there is a moment of time where you are all allowed to go about and mingle and personally introduce yourselves if you so wish. You do know that the Queen Adira will be making her announcement soon, but at this moment you are free to go about as you wish. What do your characters do during this time?
Well, first of all, I think Dandy would just see if she catches Silent Night's eye from at any point across the room.
There's certainly a point where you're kind of trying to get the notice of the Silent Knight.
Mhm.
And you do see that the helmet turns somewhat in your direction, but it's
Yeah, I
hard to
just nod.
say.
The
And
upwards nod.
They
know what it
don't
means.
choose to respond and just instead
They know.
silently turn away
It's fine.
and continue on.
Holly would definitely like bounce on the soles of her feet, like kind of really excited, and she'd say, "Miracle, I'm so glad that we finally get to meet." And she's really awkward about it, and she's like, "I just can't believe we're meeting in real life."
Yes, it's quite nice to see you in person instead of through other means.
Yes. And she looks like she wants to hug you, but she's like also not sure. And so she's just kind of like, she's got her hands like really straight to her sides and is kind of bouncing up and down. And she's just, it's so good. I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm really glad to see a safe, a friendly face.
Oh.
I don't know what I'm doing either most of the time. I'm not good at these things. This was not my specialty. But we will be weird together.
Oh, yes, please.
Ginger is going to kind of sidestep over, trying not to really attract much attention to Noelle, because Noelle looks miserable and like she does not want any attention. But hi. I didn't expect to see you here.
And Noelle just almost jumps at the sound of your voice, and she timidly looks up at you through her bushel of hair. And at first, she seems fearful, but seeing your face, immediately her face changes, and you see the small smile that you're so familiar with light on her face, and she says,
Oh, Ginger, it's been so long. Oh, how have you been?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Are you?
Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. It makes
And
things
look, that's not even
better.
it. Look who I brought. And I'm going to pull out from somewhere, maybe my hair, maybe, I don't know. Who knows? I'm going to pull out my little familiar, which is a flying squirrel named Q, with whom Noelle has been previously acquainted.
And she's immediately delighted by this, holding out her hands as she always done before to see if the little familiar would land on them.
And that happens, absolutely.
Oh, and she's just like very delighted. You can tell as she's just kind of like almost beside herself as he's kind of like flitting about all around, and both of them just like chittering to each other in chipmunk language, very excitedly and like kind of catching up with each other and all the goss, as chipmunks do.
Yeah,
The chipmunk language does. Squirrel, etc. And you can tell that she's already like starting to loosen up and feeling a bit more comfortable from this interaction.
Oh, thank you so much, Ginger. It's been a long year, so it's very good to see a familiar face.
I understand. It's nice to see you too. Do you would you like to go introduce or talk to other people together so that way it's less scary?
I would really like that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Come on. Let's go.
And she follows after wherever you end up leading her towards. Very, very grateful. So where is it that you do end up going?
I would like to go pet the dogs. Sorry. I think I was trying to go talk to people, but I got distracted by a bark or something, and I just need a few minutes. I just want to feel all of their faces.
Yeah. Understandable. So you kind of almost intentionally, unintentionally make your way over to where all of the little cute dogs are just kind of like playing and like roughhousing with each other very adorably next to where Mariah is. And what is Mariah doing? How do you respond to that?
I would say I'm mostly used to people coming over and wanting to pet the dogs because I understand this as an introvert.
I'm so sorry I didn't ask before I touched your dogs.
That's okay. They're not service animals. You can pet them. It's fine.
Thank you. They're very soft. They're very good boys.
They are very good boys and girls. You're very pretty.
Thank you. Thanks. I don't usually wear tree bark, so thank you.
Is it truly tree bark?
It really is. Unfortunately, it really is. All the way, too.
Unfortunately.
I hope you sanded the inside at least.
Well, there's a liner. It's flannel. It's it's plaid, of course. So
of course,
could at least be myself on the inside.
Isn't that the dream of us all?
Well. Some of us like to be us on the outside too, but apparently I couldn't just wear jeans today, so.
If you had worn jeans, you would have been the talk of the gala.
And I wasn't sure if I would want that or not. I don't want to distract from the actual issues that we're here to resolve. Well, I mean a little bit, but we still want to solve them, right?
I suppose, yes, but I imagine the jeans would be more beneficial for your figure.
Okay, so would it be crazy if I just like my dress and just have on like jeans? Jeans and a plaid shirt. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Like it's tree bark and it's all just Velcro in the back. Maybe I would
It's
covered
got the
in
like
mulch.
ripping sound too.
As you throw it.
As she does this, Holly just kind of whispers to Miracle, I'm so confused. I thought that was part of her.
Oh no.
Miracle just looks at Holly and goes, "Oh my dear, we need to get you out of the lab more often."
But wait, but people wear trees that aren't a part of them?
Yes,
Sometimes.
I guess. It takes all kinds to make a fruitcake, okay?
I was trying to be supportive of a local designer who also happens to be made of organic materials themselves. So, gets a little adventurous sometimes.
I mean, it wasn't unbeautiful. It was beautiful. Very well designed. It just wasn't you.
I agree. I completely agree.
I like
Miracle
this.
kind of looks at her dress like, "Yep." Yep.
You hear a voice that's pretty loud, like it's as if he was trying to maybe pretend as if trying to be quiet, but it's clear that he wanted others to hear after you had made, your costume change of sorts. You
Blake
hear the
Lively
voice
style, just
yes. You hear Bigley in the background say, Well, that's not very gala-like attire, but who am I to say? Pay attention to me.
I have this thing that I can use, Nature's Touch, and I could potentially use it to clear him of a condition. Is arrogance, would you consider that to be a condition?
I wish I could. Unfortunately,
Oh, man.
not in this case.
Yes.
Rats.
That's,
I know.
that. I liked that.
Man. You hear him laughing, and he's trying to get as much attention, and you see that there's like a flock of admirers, or people just trying to get along as best they can. And Claus, stepping kind of away, he leans over in your direction and he says, "I think you look very nice."
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you
gonna
very
reach
much.
out and take Ginger's hand, and I've got very long fingers, long nails, obviously fake, obviously.
Oh,
And I'm just
nice.
gonna kind of guide you to sit with me, so that we can speak a little bit quieter. And then I'm just gonna snap my fingers, and all of the dogs start howling. So whenever Bigsby speaks, they begin to howl.
They're so good. They're
Did
so
you know?
good.
I once. He's like,
They are very
seems a
good.
little distraught at this.
Miracle's trying not to laugh, but she's failing miserably.
This is much more exciting than I thought it would be.
Yes.
Yep, much more lively than any party I've been to. That's for sure.
I haven't been to any parties, so I'm really excited.
Oh, we really need to get you out of your lab more often.
Nick, is that you?
Very different.
Dandy, what have you been doing during this point? You had made somewhat of a silent communication with the Silent Knight, perhaps, but beyond that.
Yeah, Dandy is, snacking, sampling all the wares. She wanted to go talk to Mariah, but then she saw that
I have a seat on the other
Ginger
side
went
of
over and
me.
talked to her, so she stopped walking over there, and it was just like, oh, I'm actually going this way now. And I think she just wants to start making small talk with other people of the gala, but she seems just kind of awkward about it. Like, she doesn't really know who to talk to or like what to do, really. She keeps fiddling with her sword as well.
As you're doing this, you see Agatha sidle up to you, like to the point where you're like almost like touching arm to arm, and she just kind of like just looks down at you, and
Lay down.
she's very like toes slowly making her way up, lingering a little bit where the sword is, and then finally meeting your face. Well, hello. I don't think
Howdy.
we have met. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
What is your name again?
Hi,
I've
I'm
been here
Dandy.
before me.
And I put my hand out.
And she very gracefully puts her hand in yours.
Well, aren't you just a firecracker?
Oh, honey, you have no idea.
Oh, I'd like to know.
Oh,
Have you
make
tried the
introverts.
food? Have you tried the food? And I like kind of show her my plate of snacks.
And she looks down at the plate and she kind of like finger dances around and she's like, I've tried a lot of these, but. And she locks eyes with you. I think I see something much more delectable than what's on your plate.
Oh yeah, well, I bet I could give you a sample if we can find the time.
Indeed. I didn't think there were many quite as adventurous and forward as I. Well, I am very intrigued. Obviously, we have a few things we have to wait for, but I'll wait for you in my room afterwards if you so wish.
Well, what's your room number?
We do have assigned room numbers in this castle, yes. It is
69.
I'm a 201. If you just want to come knock on my door around like want to say like 3 a.m. Does that sound like too late, or will you be up still, or I can like take a nap first and then wake up later.
I would
Whatever works for you
recommend
though.
I would
Whatever works for you.
recommend the nap for what I have in store for you.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
gonna
I
need
get
that
tired
energy.
real easy, so.
Mm. She this is happening so fast. She takes a snack from your tray and she gives you like a little wink
Yeah.
and she just turns and sashays away.
The
I'll be
Olympics. I
there.
hope there's like prophylactics in all the rooms.
So side note, yes, everyone has their own personal room. They are now numbered, so keep that in mind.
Dandy is stoked. She's like, yes. Oh.
Oh, sweet bean.
So
Oh,
at
they
this
look so
point,
friendly.
actually, as you say that, Holly, you feel something come up behind you, something very cold and almost ominous and looming over you. Quite literally, you see this shadow fall across you as Carol Krampus appears by your side. And she's standing with her head held high, not really looking down at you, just giving you the barest of a glance. Kind of a smirk on her face. Hello. It's been so long since we spoke to each other.
Probably should have been a little longer. I think it was probably fine that we
No.
didn't talk for a while.
I do agree on that part. I liked you better when you were silent. But I wanted
I
to
like
make
you
my
that way
rounds
too.
and just let you know that you have my condolences.
I do. I think we'll have to discuss those condolences a little bit more in depth later. But I don't really want to talk anymore with you.
It's fine. We will discuss one way or another. Goodbye, small fry. And she makes her way through the crowd.
And I say to
Miracle, who is
Miracle, I'm not
Yeah.
that tall. Like, I'm pretty tall.
neither
She's
is Miracle.
taller.
She's pretty tall,
She's much
and she's
taller.
built like a brick house.
Whatever.
Even
She's
so.
not that great. She's not that great.
Is there a problem that I should be aware of?
Oh, I told you in the letters. I'm suspicious of her. She may be part of my problem.
Ah, which means she might be part of my problem.
And at that, you hear Queen Adira's voice cutting through the crowd, silencing all conversation immediately as she stands very gracefully and very regally from her throne. And she manages to look down at all of you, but you don't get the sense that she's actually looking down at you. She's actually looking at you with hope and admiration and respect. She has a smile on her face as if she is genuinely happy to see all of you, well, minus maybe one person, most of you here. And she says, "Champions all, thank you for making the trek across your lands and into the snowy area that I live in. This mountain is not easy to traverse, I know. So, please, do what you must to rest and recover. You all have your own rooms, of which they have been numbered. And There's plenty of food. There's plenty of drink.
You're welcome.
You will not want for anything. For the first 3 days, during the 12 days of the Yule Duel, this is a time for you to get to know one another, for you to connect, to bond, to learn. I do not wish you to speak of any of your issues just yet, but spend this time first just being, just knowing one another. After the 3rd day, then we will commence with the duels. So please, if there's anything I can do for you, I am an open book. I am here always for all of you to speak to. But in the meantime, the castle is yours. Do as you wish, so long as it is under the rules of the Everpeace Treaty. And thank you, and welcome. And she gives like a bow, and everyone like claps very, graciously, and she makes her way out. And so, during these first 3 days, it is just the time where you are all either exploring the grounds or the castle, or you're getting to know each other more or other people, or you can maybe participate in some of the small little festivities that each of your society has provided. Of which you would tell me, what would your society have provided? What kind of games would your society have participated in? What would they be showing to everyone else on how to play? If you know of a game, you can maybe introduce it and see if that's something that your character plays, or maybe asks another to join you or play against if you have one. During these 3 days, it is the time where you simply just get to know each other and mingle. So this has been the first day. It has been a pretty tiring one with the trek and all of the introductions and such. So you do retire for the evening for this first one. And I would say, normally, that it goes by relatively quickly and you all sleep a very good sleep, but it seems like something very special might be happening at 3 a.m. in room. What was it
201.
again? 201!
201. Yeah. Better not
So
forget.
very, very promptly. Actually, at, I would say 2:45 a.m., you would hear a knock at your door, Dandy.
Hello?
Hello?
Do we have a timekeeping device of some sort?
Yes, you each have a bird that squawks at you what hour it is on the hour.
Okay, I poke the bird for it to tell me it's 2:45. Y'all are early.
I know, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't stop thinking about it, and here I am.
And here you are.
And here I am.
Come on in, darling. The bed's nice and warm, at least.
And she sidles on in, and she gets up close to you. And it is very dark at this point in time. You can see the 2 moons in the distance shining their light directly through your window, kind of almost like highlighting the bed almost perfectly in that ring of light.
That's nice.
And you can just see the twinkling of the night fireflies scattered about, some of them kind of moving into the room, and some of them just kind of scattered all across around the outside, just above the courtyard. And she just lays across your bed and gives you this motion.
I meant to ask, has Rudy been inside this whole time? Has he been with me? Or does
I
he have
would
his own
say
space?
Rudy would have his own stable area. Unless
Okay.
if you specifically requested that he also be in the same room, they would have accommodated that he has a little there's a mini stable in your room where he can be,
I
if
think
that made you more comfortable. All
I
right.
would go check on him first because he has not been feeling very well, and I've been
And
very
that's
worried
true.
about him.
Okay.
So I check on him first, make sure that he's asleep. You know, I like fluff his hay up for him and give him a little pat on the head, give him a little kiss. And then I asked Agatha, can I offer you something to drink? I have some delightful cedar wine that I brought all the way from my place.
I would love to try that. That just sounds adorable. Please.
And I pour us both a glass.
And she very gratefully takes hers and she takes a sip. What does it taste like?
It tastes like somebody took like cedar boughs off the ground and fermented them into a wine. So
All
probably
right.
like a gin, but like much earthier and like darker. It's like a light brown color.
She closes her eyes as she tastes this, and you see a small smile on her face. And she says, "This reminds me very much of the monastery where I
Oh.
live.
Good.
It's very familiar. It's like home."
Yes, I think so too. In the Coven of Vixens, you see, we like to kind of do our own thing, and this is just one of those things where we make it to like sell and trade, you know. So it just is one of the few things that actually gets out into the general population, if you know what I mean. So if you like it, tell your friends, and then maybe we can start doing some trade.
I would be very intrigued with that, yes. I am not opposed to that. So this is one of the things that you do. And she reaches out and grabs you and throws you onto the bed, and she sidles up on you and she says, "Can I be one of those things that you do for tonight?"
Oh, I think you can, Mrs. I think you can.
And we fade to black. And Dandy has a very dandy time.
Miracle
So
would
it
make
is-
sure that Holly gets to her room safely.
Aw, that's so
Aw.
sweet of you. Yeah,
It's
play
just
that
like,
out.
somebody's got to be there to hold her hand when she crosses the street. Like,
Aw.
Maybe.
you know, she's really smart. But
Not in all the ways.
You do note that Carol is only like a couple rooms down, and she's just standing outside of her door, almost as if waiting for Holly. So it's actually good that you were there.
Uh-oh.
I just like make a
sweet.
show of turning towards her so that she can see my hip where I keep my sword, which hasn't been seen for quite a while, given where Miracle is from and all that stuff. Like, it used to be sort of a Dancer's Requiem used to be a sort of synonymous with her, but nobody's seen it in a long time. So she just sort of looks at Carol, raises an eyebrow. Something for you.
And Carol would look down, look at your sword, and also quirk an eyebrow. Depends on if you are asking or offering.
Anything to do with you, Carol? We all hate you. You're the worst.
Carol's just like,
Not even here. You can't.
that's
sit
enough
with
sugar for you. Go to bed.
I think probably she had like alcohol and has not really ever had it.
They probably had half a glass of champagne and were just tanked for the night.
And so she's like, Carol, you're the worst. No one likes you.
Fuck you, Carol.
And Carol almost takes pride in like, ah, that is what I live to hear before she turns in for the night.
Yeah.
Get worse. Get out of here.
I just sort of like take Holly by the shoulders and I'm like, go
I'm
to
fine.
bed.
I can fight her. I can fight her
I-
right
I
now.
have no doubt that
I
you
can
could.
take her.
I brought a sword. I could probably do it.
I have no doubt, my friend. I have no doubt. But right now, I need you to go to bed. I'm going to go for a walk.
Okay. I could kick her ass. I absolutely can. I know.
I believe you, my friend. But please go
Okay.
to bed.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll do that.
So,
Like falls
just
over
kind of-
and falls immediately asleep with her half.
I like
Have
make
that
sure
to
her
say.
boots are off and stuff, and like throw a blanket over her, and then go and change out of this dress into like a linen shirt and breeches and like comfy boots, and then go for a walk.
Nettle and Affy, what did your characters do for this first night? How did you wind it down?
Well, I'm not really used to sleeping inside, so this is a little weird for me. I'm definitely not feeling rested yet. I would like to go for a walk around like the area of the castle that we're in and just kind of like familiarize myself with the layout, find my exits, you know, that kind of stuff. And I was sitting down with Mariah. Mariah, if you would like to walk with me, that's what I'm gonna do.
Let me change first.
Yes, yeah, I'm comfortable. You should also be comfortable.
Yes. So I go into my room and I change. I leave the dogs in the room, except for one. When I come back out, I'm in like a skin-tight black leather catsuit.
Shit.
Very, very voluptuous. A very thick woman.
Ginger is gonna be totally cool and normal about this.
The catsuit leaves little to the imagination, and she's like doing up the buttons at the front as she comes out.
Getting all sweaty over here.
I know.
Ginger is red. It's red. Like you look nice.
And her sword is on her hip. Or no, on her back. Let's walk.
Yes. Walk, 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 walk.
I too am taking note of exits, entries, who may be in which rooms. I'm mainly looking for Bigleys.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Do you think
Uh,
we can't trap him in there, can we?
Oh, everything is possible, my dear.
Okay, let's do it. Can we, is there like a dresser or something, or like a big piece of furniture in the hallway that I can like push in front of his door?
oh yeah, you have, I mean, there's all kinds of like sculptures, there's benches, giant potted plants, you name it.
Make sure he's in there for.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. How do we do that though without having to engage with him? Do you have any ideas?
I've got a few, but I may need you to cover for me.
Oh, I'll cover for you. What's up?
And I'm gonna like put my back up against the wall and kind of pull Ginger in. So we're like pressed
Yeah.
together, and then one hand is behind me, and I'm gonna use deft fingers again to try and pick the lock behind.
This can't be the only roll, but yes, proceed.
I mean, I can use something else.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Oh, 6. 5. So 12.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, you are an expert at this.
With the
You
fingers.
you're so good at doing things with your hands without ever having to
Uh-huh.
look.
God, you've done this before.
So up to Ginger, I'm not going to press this on you because you're not the main target, but you can reveal a secret level of vulnerability if you want. You don't have to, though. I'm not going to insist on it because the door is the target more than a person.
We can say that, or if you choose, you can overhear something from within Bigley's room instead. I would leave that up to you guys.
More interested in Ginger, but again, not going to push for that.
Okay. Secret vulnerability. You can tell Ginger is not used to being in a safe setting to express and explore their like sexuality at all, and so they seem very like clunky. Like you pulled them on and their response was not super smooth. It was like trying to go with it, but also just like a little bit clueless. Spends a lot of time in the greenhouse and not a lot of time in other places.
Fair enough. Okay. And I'll just give her
You're
like
playing the Nature Witch, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll just give her like
Veda
a little bit of
2.0.
like a smirk, and slowly push the door open.
It's dark in there.
So you creak that door open. It's very quiet and very subtle. And just beyond it, you just hear this.
There it is.
Like something is maybe dying in there? You're not really sure, honestly.
Smells like it. God.
It's horrific. Oh, it smells like death. Those covers contain nothing that comes out of that body.
Multitudes. In a bad way.
Yes. But it sounds like this person is dead asleep.
Close it.
No. We should go through his things.
I don't really want to get that smell on me.
Come on, it'll be fun.
Do you have any gloves? No. Okay, fine. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's go. Let's look.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. I just
Gonna
command-
Walk on the
say-
hallway when they're in the middle of this.
I want to say yes. You are just turning the corner when you see them slip inside this room. You don't know what room necessarily it is, but you do see these two figures just shh.
I leave the dog
Inside.
outside in the corridor.
And you see a dog just like,
With a flying squirrel on its head.
Perfect.
Okay.
oh,
Perfect.
Then immediately I know what's going. I know that
What's
those two
going
are
on?
in there at least.
Yeah.
I would say you
Yeah.
guys will have to make maybe some kind of like a grace roll perhaps for being very like careful and delicate as you go about through this room, trying not to disturb anything, trying not to wake.
I go and wait next to the door, like just out of sight by where the dog is, and just give scritches to like the dog and the squirrel while I wait for those two to either fuck up really bad or come out.
Alright, we got an 8. What did Ginger get?
6.
6.
We're so stealthy.
Alright. So Mariah, you're managing to kind of like, I mean, it's pretty dark in here, and honestly, with a little bit of that moonlight and like those little tiny bugs flitting about, it kind of actually makes things almost more difficult to see as opposed to making it better. It's like when you have like the light right next to you, and it just makes everything else just so much harder to see. So you're kind of making your way around, and you kind of stumble a little bit. Ginger, you did not suspect there to be a massive monument of his likeness in the middle of his room. And you just full on smack right into it, managing to hit it hard enough that it topples over and crashes to the floor, and you hear it breaking into 1,000 pieces. And you hear that snoring just who is there?
I
As he
immediately pounce
throws
on
himself
Ginger
up.
and kiss her. Kiss them, sorry, kiss them.
Okay.
But the guy.
So you
Just go
immediately
with it.
launch
Okay. Yes,
and he-
yes. Oh, yes. We throes of passion. We crashed into the door. We crashed into it, and it broke. And
Stop talking.
you see Bigley throw himself out of bed, and he walks around in his tidy whities.
I don't even see him. I don't even notice him.
He's looking down, and he sees his statue. How dare you! That was a work of art!
Oh my
Take
god, I'm
this.
why did you have you brought this with you?
He's cradling the head of it, and he's like, of course I do. I take him everywhere.
Oh,
So you have a
sweetheart.
backup like at home or something?
Oh, you know I have many of these, darling, but this one was special.
Shut up.
It should have been in a museum where it would have been safe.
Yes.
That's true. It is a true work of art, just like me. He flexes for no reason.
Oh my, how broad and strong you are.
That's right, buddy. We're all here for you.
No, no, I do not do this vulnerability thing. It is weak and pathetic. I am
Okay,
sad.
so you won't
not
cry about your
torn.
statue then? And we can
You
just
saw
go.
nothing. Just leave. And he points his finger out. And he says, you are quite lucky that we cannot duel yet, little children.
Okay.
With Ginger so close, I think she would feel, or they would feel Mariah just completely tense up. Just full on body, ready to lunge. Heads up.
I'm gonna try to, like, I'm not gonna restrain you anyway, but I'm just gonna, like, he's not worth your energy today. Not worth it. Save it for the duel. Don't want blood on the queen's carpets.
That would be a
The biggest one, really. Plus, then we would never get a smell out of here if we killed him in here.
right?
The smell of winning.
I kind of just unwind a little bit and let them lead me out of the room.
Yeah, we can do more of that, maybe of that other thing that we were doing instead.
I'm sure we can. I'm in room 203.
In room 69.
Oh, my.
Maybe you should come to my room.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
I have a question before they leave the room. So, one of my playbook things is when you hear about a villain for the first time, you may decide that you know them from your past. So, if I knew him from the accident, then I would give him. So it says I give him a string, but then I would find out what he's most ashamed of.
Okay. Yeah. If that's what
Forgot to
you would
ask
like
us
to do.
when he came through. Yeah. Then when they come
Alright.
out, then I'll interact with them.
Yeah, you two would see Miracle waiting just outside as you guys emerge.
Oh, wrong room.
You don't say.
We were distracted.
In a good way, I hope.
Can you blame me? Look at them.
They're quite lovely.
Thank you. I obviously can't believe that I'm receiving compliments from like the hottest person that I've ever seen in a cat suit. But thank you.
You are quite lovely as well.
Yeah.
Would
Feel
we,
free to give or take strings whenever you guys want. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Ginger can take a string on me.
Thank you.
What has you out of bed, Miracle?
I don't sleep well in the palaces.
Oh, are you an outdoor person too?
I belong in the skies.
Oh, that's amazing.
Long gazing upon them.
Perhaps you've seen my city then.
Have I seen the city?
Many have seen at least parts of the city, which is really a fleet of those flying ships across the sky every now and then. When you see this like arc of lightning, usually that's an indication of them traveling across the skies. So there's a good chance you've seen it, but it's a very, very new city. So I doubt that you may have actually been fully in it, but you've seen it.
I picture it's like a sort of like a steampunk sort of version of like a cloud giant castle, the way that it was described, where like it's all these different interconnected ships together,
Mm-hmm.
and it sort of chases a cloud. So
Very much like that.
or a
yeah.
storm.
Hydrate.
Group hydrate. Thanks, Rick.
You
Cute.
thirsty bitches.
Seriously, it's day one.
Okay, but like to be fair, when we played in June, Becky was like getting laid in the first half an hour of the game. So
Yeah.
Fair point. Fair
It's real
point.
hard.
Yes.
We're at
Miracle,
least an
can I
hour
give
and a
you
half
a
in.
string as well.
Sorry?
I'm gonna give Miracle a string as well.
okay, sure.
I have seen your city. Didn't realize at the time that's what it was. My people watch the stars.
Yes, I must confess I don't know much about your people. I would be interested to learn more.
Well, I guess it would depend on who you ask.
Isn't that true of everyone, though?
Just don't believe certain rumors you may hear of my.
As long as you don't believe certain rumors you hear of me.
I will believe
And-
every single one of them.
Yeah. You would know that Miracle has a reputation of being a lone survivor. And there was a terrible accident, and a lot of people blame her for a lot of things going wrong. And it's a little weird that she's even here.
So it would be a question then of which people is she championing? That word.
Yes.
Championing. There we go.
Yes.
Words are hard.
Yeah,
Got
very
it.
hard. Yes.
Where's Ruin when you need him?
Oh god, I know, right? Okay. Tuck that little nugget in the back of my head.
Well, I will let you two get on with it then. And just very like almost seductively, but also she looks like she's trying to be seductive, but she looks bad. And she just sort of like traces like just kind of gently along your jaw and then continues down the hallway.
Can I use nature's touch on Miracle? If I may I try something?
Yeah, go for it. What
Okay.
is nature's touch?
When I touch someone and let the power of the natural world flow into them, I add my spirit modifier, and I can choose, depending on what I roll, either 1 or 2 of 3 options to clear a condition or give you a couple of abilities or answer a figure out a person question.
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. I rolled an 8, so I am choosing 1. That string that I gave. Oh wait, sorry. I can clear a condition on you. I would like to clear your insomnia condition, if that's a thing.
I don't think
that
it works that way, right? Like I have to be sad or angry or frightened or guilty or something like that, right? Isn't that how that works?
Technically,
Technically, but we can definitely say that
Or
this
unease.
definitely, yeah, we'll say that this manages to work for you though. It's this little bit of magic manages to reach you, and it's from someone who is genuine and someone that is looking after you. So you immediately feel that lack of sleep and being your mind just going 100 miles per hour, just you can't have it stop worrying, and it just suddenly just calms down. You feel this sense of peace wash over you immediately.
Sure. I sort of as I pass her and she you brush my arm or something or whatever you do.
Yeah, as we're saying goodnight, I'll probably cup your elbow and kind of caress your forearm. Just good night, rest well.
Good night to you as well. And I would give you a string then.
that's the one.
I know.
Yeah.
Smash what?
And it's so loud, I have to mute it. She's just banging that thing around. Look at her go.
Aw.
Thank God.
Oh, Tesla. Can't believe
Roland.
Pasta's not over here. She's usually climbing all over me.
I know, I was wondering that already.
Because you're not being traumatized.
Oh my god, no. She just not like it when people cry.
Oh,
Aw.
same. So,
That
how
happens a lot.
do the two of you end your first night together? And then we'll wrap up with Miracle.
Leave that in Ginger's hands. Push for anything more than what they're comfortable doing.
Well, I invite you to my room under the assumption that things might continue in the physical nature in which they've begun.
Absolutely, they do. If it's on the table, it's happening.
Great. Everybody get some pussy.
Yeah!
Yes, that's what we're here for.
Yeah,
All right. 3 down. So we have another fade to black moment. Not very many people are getting sleep this first night. Oh my. Miracle, how do we want to wrap up yours? You said that you wanted to perhaps make a sort of move or something. Listening in on Bigley, was that? Or
No, it should have actually happened when he first walked into the gala, but I misread what it said.
Gotcha.
So it should have happened when he first walked into the gala. So he would get a string on me, but then I would get to know what he's most ashamed of.
Okay. Yeah, so this is actually something that you managed to overhear as the other two make their way back to room 69. You stay back for just a moment and you're about to turn away, feeling the heaviness of sleep finally hitting you, but a sound stops you and you actually hear a sob coming from the room. You step back and you lean in, and you can hear Bigley inside, presumably by himself, cradling his statue still. And you just hear him saying, "Oh, why? Why is it so hard? I don't understand. Am I so frail that even just a statue of me shattering is enough indication that maybe I'm not as strong as I thought. What is this feeling? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. What is happening to me?" You hear that before he eventually goes quiet. And you make your way back to your room. And so
Yep.
concludes the first day and the first night of the Yule Duel festivities. You only have 11 more.
22 more hours, you guys.
Yeah,
Should finish on New Year's Day.
We'll be fine.
right. Yes.
Yes, fine.
That's actually how it was intended. I hope you're all here for the long run.
Holidays and Christmas, the tabletop game.
Yes. So for the next couple of days, it's going to be going through a little bit more quickly. These are the 2 days where they call it the jingle mingle, where you all get together. There's all kinds of performances that are put on by those who are local to this area, and there's so much food that you can imagine, and there's anything that you could wish for or want, and it is here. You are just here to relax and get to know each other. During this time, what do each of you focus on primarily? What interactions or what activities? What is it that you spend your time just trying to get to know others who you want to know the most, or what do you want to try and learn about? This is the time to do that before the duels officially begin. I am going to start with Holly. What is it during these 2 days that you primarily focus on?
I would want to ask, I'm sorry, Kayla, what's your character's name?
Dandy.
Dandy. I would like to ask Dandy about the reindeer, a little bit about them, just kind of like feeling that out. I'm sorry. So I would just want to kind of know about the situation with their reindeer, and they looked pretty intimidating and large, and just want to find out more about that. I would also probably want to hang out lots with my friend, because I'm very excited to get to be around her, and I would want to kind of introduce myself to everybody very awkwardly, but excited to be here. I might also ask Ginger about her dress and how she can take off trees.
The thing about you can really only do it the one time. Take it off. I mean, you take it off the one time, and then it is effectively. I mean, I ruined it. It's very delicately assembled from individual pieces of tree bark that were all donated willingly from the trees.
Okay,
then
darling, if you ruined it, I would have.
So Holly will kind of pull up her sleeve a little bit and knock on her arm and say, "I can take this on and off, but I mostly like to keep it on." And just kind of show that her arm is wooden.
Since I like to keep my arm on too.
Yeah, but I can't. If I needed to, I could take it off, but I won't do that here. That seems really awkward, right? Right? I think so.
It would be pretty fun. My people like to practice axe throwing. Maybe you could incorporate your hand into that in some way. How stiff are your fingers?
I mean, they're pretty dexterous. They can do all the things that normal.
Ooh, okay.
Fingers
So
can
maybe it's not quite an axe head situation. But...
No, I can I can do everything. This is my sword arm too, and so.
Has anybody
So your
ever
muscles
asked you
will
to give
never
you a
get
hand
tired?
and you just like pop it off and hand it over to them? Because that's what I would do.
I mean, if that's cool, if that's what people do, but I don't think that's what people do. I'm not sure.
Depends on the person.
It-
Dandy, how do you go about these next couple of days? You do note, after the first day, it seems that Rudy is getting a bit worse as time progresses.
Yeah. I would, the worse Rudy gets, the worse I would be. I would be less social. I'd probably be a lot ruder to people in general. I would spend more time taking care of Rudy and trying to feed him and make sure he had enough water. But I think in the little bit of time I did have where I wasn't feeling so depressed, I would try and teach people one of the games from the Coven of Vixens, which is essentially just like a game of group tag where we are in teams, and one team gets a head start to run through the forest and like kind of hide, and then the other team has to go find them and try and catch them.
What are the teams that you make of all the people that you've met here?
Well, I think it would be volunteer based as far as games go. So if anybody wants to join, then there's like a team captain, you know.
Is there any chance, will we all know that Rudy is feeling
That-
poorly and that is distracting you?
That would only
Um,
be if she would say.
Because
Probably.
I was gonna ask you about the reindeer, so I want to know if you would be open with that.
Yeah. Well, if we talk, Holly, she would be kind of rude to you specifically, and just say that not only is Rudy sick, but all of the animals in the Coven of Vixens have been sick all of a sudden, and we don't really know why. But I have some theories, and if you want to hear those theories, then you better buckle up, because it has to do with you, and it has to do with Jinja. You see, the Dasher, they got all that magic, you're making all that stuff, and there's that real toxic poison, smog coming out of Dasher, and it's very likely that that is affecting us in the Coven of Vixens, you see. And if it's not that, then the other possibility is that over in Donner's Grove, they've had that kind of, we've heard rumors that there's been some really strong magical plant growth, and that the plants are kind of taken over, and that they've become kind of toxic as well. And so if that's true, then that might be affecting the Coven of Vixens. And so that is one of the reasons I am here, is to figure out what is going on and to put a stop to it, because all of our animals are sick and we depend on them.
So Holly, so Dandy, how long have your reindeer been sick?
Not that long, right, Keisha? It's happened pretty recently.
Yes,
Uh,
it seems like within the past couple of months or so.
Mm-hmm.
Same with my issue?
Yours, coincidentally, seems to be about the same time frame.
Yeah.
It all just happened real sudden, and that's why the Coven chose me to come here. Is that I'm a people person, and so they figured I could, duel it out and get the solution to the problem. So
Interesting that you mention that your animals have been sick that long, because the magic is kind of being drained from our city for about that
say.
long. And I had heard rumors that you were treating your reindeer and other mounts with magic from my city, but it seems like that wouldn't correlate. What would correlate is that we are both having problems simultaneously and not maybe one because of another.
what kind of magic do you do over there? What's the purpose of your magic systems in Dasher?
Oh, science and discovery and just all sorts of amazing things that we do for our society and our infrastructure. And her eyes light up and she starts talking about like just random like nerd stuff. And she's like, and we can do all this stuff and like kind of read where the magic has been. And that's how part of how we know that it's leaving our city is that we have this ability to kind of see. Me better than a lot of people, I can see where it was and where it is not anymore. And so that's why I'm here. I'm trying to find where the magic is going.
Well, I'm not a smart woman, so I didn't really understand a lot of that, but it sounds like you do, and so I must say that I was a little apprehensive to come here today and have to talk to some of you because there is a feeling of betrayal over in the Coven of Vixens from some of y'all. But
I understand, and I'm really concerned too because this uncontrolled growth that we're having at our borders clearly represents a huge imbalance of energy.
And that's not something you've had any control of, is what you're trying to say.
No, it's not, but it's definitely something that I would like to try to get control of or to figure out because I mean, we all have everything very carefully planned and designated, and for any of us to siphon each other's resources or impede in any way is not good.
But it's interesting though that you are having an overabundance of growth. I'm having a lack, and you are, I would say, maybe also, Dandy, your animals are missing something. At this point, I might bring Miracle in, and I would say, so you know how we kind of thought maybe our things were related? Like, maybe it's a lot more complicated, and, like, we should all talk.
What do you mean? I must say, ladies, I thank you for your insights and for telling me your stories. That really means a lot. I came in here with a bit of a closed mind, and it is good to get other perspectives. And I think perhaps we should continue this conversation with others and see what else we can find out. You guys can both have a string on me for that, if you would like, by the way.
Thanks.
We're all just here to help each other and to come to the most harmonious conclusions possible, right? And also everybody's in love and having fun?
and Holly kind of, gets bouncy again and is like, oh yeah, sure.
Over your shoulder, you see a disapproving gaze of Carol. Just
oh, I have a lot of suspicions about that one over there.
We should bring in Mariah then if we're all going to talk about this.
Absolutely. And do you think she's wearing that skin-tight catsuit that somebody said that they saw her wearing? Because I'd like to see that as well.
I look around for Mariah. Where's Mariah and what has she got going on today?
I would say while everybody's sort of doing the socializing thing, she's once again trying to break into...
Wow.
Of course you are.
Of course. All right. Well, before we get into that, this might be a good point to break if everyone's good with that, and then we'll see what you find in Bigley's room and what you guys kind of discover as you discuss more about all of these issues that seem interconnected somehow.
We'll be right back. Hi, we're
Keisha,
back.
you're doing great.
We've had a scene change and some wardrobe changes because it's fucking cold. But we're
True.
back. Go ahead, Keisha. It's all you.
All right. Well, so we are on day 2/3 of everybody arriving at the castle, all of the champions. You guys are in the period of getting to know each other, jingle mingling, as this time period is kind of called. And you all have been kind of started discussing the issues of your societies, the initial reason you were even here in the first place. And some things are slightly connecting and also kind of not making sense at the same time. So you've been gathering each other, trying to discuss this, while one of you has made their way up to maybe do some other kind of investigating. So we are going to go ahead and start with Mariah. What is it that you are doing during this time period?
I am
Getting arrested.
Potentially.
to break into Bigley's room because I'm trying to find evidence of my situation.
All right.
Prove that what I know is true is true.
Okay. Sounds good. So you go up to his room and you kind of look around. You make sure no one else is there. And you kind of jiggle that doorknob, and you can tell that this time it is quite locked. How do you proceed from there?
He probably had the lock chain. So, was there a window?
Every room has a window.
Going
Yeah, that's
into the
deep.
neighboring bedroom, and I'm gonna do the window thing.
So you're trying to go into another room and see if you can't, like, climb through that way? Alright. So, the room that you enter into is Agatha's.
Fuck.
And she is there. You can see,
I...
as soon as you open that door, she is in the middle of, like, kind of holding up some of her clothes, kind of like looking in the mirror, discarding that one, trying another one, looking in the
should
mirror again.
go with the green one.
And she stops and just kind of looks over her shoulder. Completely topless, except for what she's holding against her.
I feel like the time we spent together, this is not new.
Yes, you are 100% used to this,
Yeah.
for sure. Where she is from, like, you
Clothing
can
optional?
be... yes, exactly. And it is absolutely natural and beautiful where she comes from. Actually, being nude is very freeing in her monastery. Clothing is very restrictive. So, this does not really faze you, necessarily. Unless if it does. That's up to you.
No.
She looks over and sees you, and she kind of turns back, and she's looking at you, like, through the mirror in the reflection, as she's still kind of looking at stuff and trying. She goes back to the green one. Interesting to see you back after all of this time.
I know. Should have said goodbye.
Some would say yes, traditionally, when one has spent a large amount of time very intimately with each other, one way or another, you would expect some sort of farewell instead of... and she tosses the dress that she was looking at, suddenly just leaving without a word, without explanation. But I understand, and she picks up the next bit of clothing and she's trying it. I know that for you, you have always been wandering, and it's so difficult for you to be tied down to just one person or one thing, so please don't let me bore you with my talk if you are just so anxious to leave now as you wanted to before.
I didn't leave because I
Oh. And she finally makes eye contact with you as she turns to face you. Why did you leave then?
Destruction is coming. People have seen it. We need to fix it. Stop it from. It needs immediate attention.
And you didn't have time to say any of that? Or even leave a note? Some sort of message?
I could have. I admit. I'm not good with good.
She sighs very heavily, and she walks over to you, and she cups your face very gently. I understand. Admittedly, I'm still a little bit hurt. But thank you for at least talking to me. I appreciate it.
I didn't mean to hurt you.
I appreciate that too. You have a good heart, and I can tell that that is genuine, what you are saying. Well, what is it that you need help with?
I need your window.
And she looks over at her window very curiously and looks back at you. The window is all yours?
Give her like a light kiss on the cheek and beeline for the window.
And whatever it is, I had no part of it as she walks out the door.
You weren't even in
Leaving you
here and you're topless before you leave. I know these people are a little bit more. Never mind,
She's gone.
it's fine.
She's gone. Far gone. All right.
Going for Big Lee's window.
All right. We're going to have to make some kind of roll for this as you try to carefully make your way from this window to the next. It is a very, very narrow edge for you to tiptoe across.
At your sparkle vomit?
Yep. What roll am I making?
Gosh, that is a great question. Well, you could use Grace. You could use, I would say, maybe Wit to see if you can get about it very smartly, and unless if you can convince me otherwise to use a different one to give you a better modifier and such.
Nope, Grace is probably my.
All right.
$10.
10, nicely
Rolled
done.
a 2 and then a 6.
There was a moment where your foot slips, but you catch yourself, and then you manage to sidle along. Maybe this isn't the first time you've done something like this before in your life.
I've absolutely snuck into and out of bedrooms.
That would make sense. Yes, you
Yeah.
very expertly manage to crawl along and push open that window, and it slides open because he didn't think to lock that, of course. And you manage to hop right inside. No one is in there, no other security measures that you can tell.
Has he like pathetically glued the statue together like the leg lamp in Christmas
Oh.
Story?
Yes, you can see.
I am looking for paperwork or something that proves I'm right. Because I know
All
he
right.
knows that I'm right.
So you're rifling through his things, opening drawers, and maybe looking under the bed, in the closet, wherever, anywhere that you can think of. And you do encounter some paperwork of exactly what you were trying to find. You do see plans written out with your clan's name written all over it, circled multiple and multiple times. You see bullet points of things like trees, perfect for building. You see magic, perfect source for life. You see
This
disease
motherfucker.
? And you definitely find a lot of evidence kind of backing what you have been trying to say for so long. And you can also see notes of how they've been trying to pin it on your clan because it's so easy. So few people know much about you and your society because you travel so often. You rarely stay in one place for very long. No one really knows much about you. You are just a mystery. So many have definitely believed in all of these lies that perhaps you are actually the ultimate cause of many of these things. But it seems like a lot of the notes that he has may indicate otherwise. What exactly he's trying to do, you can't find that, but at least you have something to back your claims of, hey, it wasn't me.
So I'm going to take those and just move like other types of paper, even if I have to rip them out of books, just so it looks like nothing's been disturbed. There's still the same amount of papers there. Is yeah. I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna shuffle back into Agatha's room.
I will say, since you did get a 10, because that's an upbeat, among all of these, like, you see kind of some schematics and you see all these notes, there is a letter that is written to Bigley. It has not been opened. It is very beautiful, cursive, flowing writing. And this writing looks very, very familiar. You know you've seen it before. You know you've seen it on a scroll very recently.
To a certain duel of some sort.
Also on invitations, yes.
Can it shove it in my shirt? Down into the catsuit.
Yeah, the boob pockets.
Yeah.
I know that goes.
Yeah. I'm taking all
Holds a lot of
that,
stuff in there.
and I'm gonna leave through the window again. And as my parting shot, I'm going to flick a stone from the ledge at the statue, so it shatters again.
I don't know if that's necessarily. You want to shatter the statue with a stone? Interesting. Oh
Well,
man,
because if
maybe
it's put together like the leg lamp from the Christmas Story, it's very, very fragile. It's held together with tape and like Elmer's glue, and you know,
Fair point.
one
When-
resounding whack somewhere is just gonna.
Keisha's never seen that movie. We were supposed to watch it with her and we didn't get around to it.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
We got time.
It-
We got time. What are you doing
One
tomorrow?
day.
We're here until January 2nd, right? I thought that was
Yeah.
the whole point. It's 11 days or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the length of this. All right, that's fair.
Part of our jingle mingling, guys.
All right. I don't know if this is technically within the game, but just roll, I guess, daring to see if you can manage to actually.
7.
7. Okay, so you flick that stone, and it bounces off the statue, and you can see some of it start to like crumble inwards, and it definitely falls in itself a little bit, and pieces of it jumble about here and there. It doesn't completely shatter, but you do see like his face, like parts of it were pieced together, and as it
Sags.
Now it looks
falls
like it's got
down.
Bell's palsy.
You see that smile like kind of like flip upside down into a frown, and you see the face like kind of crumble down, and it's looking you into a mirror at itself with that frown, and you find that very intriguing and symbolic, perhaps, of Bigley himself.
That is.
Wow. Getting deep
so-
over here.
Provided I get back to Agatha's room okay, I'm going to change into sort of like my flowy sari clothes and take my herd, my pack down to the Jingle Gallop. Jingle Mingle.
There it is.
You got there.
Time's the charm.
Sorry, took a minute. I really just wanted to say Jingle Balls.
I'm with that. So you make your way down, and this had occurred while everyone else started discussing and starting to get together. So you managed to join just at the time when it was mentioned that maybe you should be a part of this conversation.
Wonderful.
I know I am, but what are you discussing?
Oh, you know. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Kayla.
Just one at a time, please.
You know, we're just discussing like how a lot of our problems aren't just like problems of the one, you know, they might be problems of the many. And I originally thought that like my problem was like unique, you know, and that like I'm being slighted here, but it seems like we're all being slighted in some way.
It means that we're all having problems that seem to be interconnected.
Yeah, there you go.
I
Thank
think
you,
we've
Miracle.
been near enough to think up for that long. We're all
Not
having the
those
same
sort
problem.
of problems,
Not,
but
not that problem.
Oh, okay.
problems with our societies, and they all seem to have started just a few months ago.
Huh.
Are you also having some problems from a few months ago?
You could.
As she kind of
say
bounces and wants to hear.
that.
Before you can answer, you can hear that booming voice that you are also annoyingly familiar with of Bigley as he goes about around the room. Yes, I know it is terrible. That clan, those those terrible. And he's trying
Holly-
so hard to continue
Holly
on.
just says, probably, you know who I heard really wanted to talk to you about all that terribleness was Carol. She really wants to talk to you.
His head snaps over in her direction, and her head snaps over in his direction, and there's
Oh,
like a
man.
moment of like, and they slowly make their way towards each other, just sizing each other up, kind of like circling around like sharks, eyeing each other. They're both the same height. They're just both equally massive.
They deserve each other 100%. And
You
she's really
see.
happy and smiley because she thinks they'll
Yeah,
both.
because you believe that.
Precious. Ah,
I'm very
And-
sensitive, can you tell?
so spooky. So spooky. And Adira seems to magically appear from out of nowhere, just within your group, and she looks about and she says, "So, how are you all doing? I've been wanting to check in with everyone here, and I haven't had a moment. Please tell me, how are you faring? Is there anything that I can do better to make you more comfortable here?"
Absolutely, you can make Carol disappear. She's the worst.
My dear, she is a champion, and champions all have a very beautiful quality about them. Some you might need to dig a little deeper to see it,
Very
With a
deep.
back-
but they
Backhoe.
are chosen for a reason. So
What
no,
the heck
she
is
will not be
Bigley
leaving.
doing here?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure, but
What?
He
Get him
was-
out of here.
he was chosen. He is a fellow champion. Give him a chance. Perhaps there is something on his exterior that we just simply need to find a way past to the true Bigley. Have you
Yeah,
ever
if you
given him a
say so.
chance?
No, you're probably right.
Are you
I'm
indicating
sorry
we
for
should cut it
judging.
off?
I'm sorry, what?
What? Nothing. Nothing.
Mm.
Your queenship. Nothing.
You can just call me Adira. And Miracle. And she reaches out, her arms wide for a hug. She has just this biggest smile on her face.
She kind of like leans in awkwardly and gives her a hug. How you doing, Addie?
And she just squeezes you so hard. It has been so long since I've seen you. I'm so sorry that I've had to neglect so many of your requests. I've just been so busy. I am truly sorry.
Well, after a little while, person comes to expect it. You are busy. I understand.
It seems, though, that you're getting along very well with others. Please tell me, you are all doing well? Are you enjoying yourselves?
It's been great, besides Carol.
I
Like-
Ginger and smirk. Lovely time.
So far, so good.
You have some really lovely guests here, I will say. I've really enjoyed some of their company more than others, if you know what I mean.
Well, I
What
think
do
I do.
Sorry.
Well, you see, when two women really, really like each other,
I'm gonna take my leave now. You all enjoy. I will be not here. Goodbye. She takes her leave. And you see Feathersworth like trailing after her, and he like, and he turns to you guys.
Madame.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I've
Trying to keep
been
up with his
here
little legs.
before, right? Like,
You have
I've been
many
here,
times.
right? Okay.
Yes.
And I'm just like, oh, one of these days she's going to run him into the ground and not even notice. That poor man.
And trailing after him, you see another man. He's a bit younger. He has a lot of maybe somewhat similar features to Adira, but not quite. And he's walking along and he's saying hello to all of you. And he passes by. And you know him to be her adoptive son, presumably Nicholas. And he makes his way past. And as he's walking by, you see that Bigley and Carol are still they're just like, they're constantly circling each other this whole time. They haven't said a word yet. It's just this intense stare down as they're sizing each other up this whole time. And Claus is just kind of watching, just like defeated, not
Maybe
really
they'll
sure what
fight
to
each
do.
I had this image in my
Not
head.
allowed to yet.
I had this image in my head that it was like that scene from Frozen where the guy was trying to dance with her, and it was just so fucking bad.
The Duke of
Exactly. I was
Wesselton.
picturing going on.
Yes. That's great. Not dissimilar. And Claus is just like, head in his hand, just trying to look away from this. Like, this is not, I don't know how I came from that. I'm so sorry. And his eyes catches Nicholas's for just a moment. And the two stare at each other and quickly look away.
I ship it.
Me too.
And
Immediately.
move on. So back to your problem, what you all are discussing.
I think we should skip what we're doing and fix that first.
We're matchmakers now?
I mean, why not?
Oh,
I've been to other things.
There. We send notes to both of them from the other,
Mhm.
saying to meet in a location at midnight.
And that they love each other very much. And-
Slow your roll.
Are
Holly.
your dogs capable of such a thing? Could they take messages?
Of course they can.
Then why not?
I came up with the idea, of course. Okay.
Oh, they're your dogs. I didn't want to presume anything.
Someone write a letter from one, and
I'll
the other
do it.
write the letter. Okay, Holly.
I have
How about you?
very legible penmanship.
Okay. How about we dictate to you, because I don't want you to be I love you beyond all measure. Like, no, don't. Slow and steady.
Okay, you tell me, because I would just, obviously they love each other. I saw that stare across the room. It was just lovely. It's like, like a romance like you read in the books.
Could
It
be
was a
love,
glimpse
it
from
could
10
be
feet away,
lust. There
but
is a
yes.
How many
difference.
books have you read?
So many books. All the books.
Okay. Just wondering.
That doesn't surprise me in the least.
How many
True.
romance books have you read?
All of them.
All of them.
All of them. Okay, every single one. Great. That tracks.
She is
How
like
do you
a
learn about
fan-
love when you're homeschooled?
she's the fan of
The
the
internet?
insta love trope,
Yeah.
She's has no critical thinking when it comes to the romance books.
Honestly, that's so nice.
Oh.
Wouldn't it
Well,
be nice that way?
I think between the five of us, we dictate these lovely letters indicating probably a measure of romance, a measure of awkwardness, a measure of
Curiosity.
a measure of lust, a measure of just
Should I
down
dot the
south
I's
charm.
with hearts?
Absolutely. I think you must.
No,
I think that's a little much.
no. Just dots is fine.
Okay.
Maybe you could draw a happy face at the very end of them.
Okay.
Okay.
I just look at Mariah like,
Holly can take a string on me. She's just so freaking cute.
Adorable.
She's so cute and I hate it.
I'm crying. I'm laughing so hard.
So I send
Excellent.
Coco and Marshmallow. Deliver those.
Are those your dogs? Oh my,
Deliver them in.
oh my god.
They all have food names.
Yes.
What are all of their names, Affy? Tell us, please.
Name all of your dogs.
come on,
Go.
you're a DM, come up with this.
Coco, Marshmallow, Graham,
Cracker?
Jube, Moors.
Uh-huh.
5 more. Fuck. 5 more.
There should be a meringue in
Hint,
there somewhere.
Like a peppermint,
Cider?
cinnamon, nutmeg,
Aw.
Yeah, there you
pumpkin,
Aw.
and
Pineapple on pizza.
turkey. Turkey.
That one's a little dopey compared to
Yeah.
the rest of
He's a
them.
little
He's got
dopey.
like
He doesn't lie down like a normal thing, so he the way he sits, he looks like a turkey from the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Not like a live turkey, like the turkey you get for
Yeah.
Christmas.
We somehow need to have a side quest of all of them, and everybody gets to play each of those.
oh my god, you just use a familiar problem for them. They're all just
Yeah.
dogs.
We didn't care.
All right. What does each letter say? What are they? What did you write?
They're supposed to be from each other, right? Like
Yeah.
Carol is writing to Big B and vice versa.
Wait,
No, these are for the
no.
boys.
Oh,
These are for the boys.
Oh.
This is
For Klaus and Nicholas.
Oh, I missed that. Yes. Okay.
You could also write for that. You do what you want.
No, the hearts, the eyes with
amazing.
the hearts were for Klaus and Nicholas.
Okay. That I see. It's all coming together.
Randy's looking at Bigley and Carol yeah, they want it. They're in love.
Pretty much.
Hey man, enemies to lovers is definitely a thing. So
Yeah.
I've read about that too.
Amazing. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's very like flowery and romantic. Like the first time I laid my eyes on you, felt whole in my soul.
I know Nicholas, right? Like a little bit
Yes,
from being around
Nicholas,
Adira
yeah.
so much. What is he like as a personality?
He is very. He initially, when you meet him, he's very standoffish and sarcastic, as if he couldn't give two shits about anybody that he meets. But once you get to know him, he's got a very kind of like goofy side, and he pokes fun, but only at those that he actually really cares about, and he tries not to show it too much because like being too vulnerable is not his thing. But
Explain that to the group then, so that it seems like Klaus was actually like paying attention to things that he was doing. Like maybe he caught him like juggling or something when nobody was looking, or something silly like that.
Oh, I'm writing it down. So beautiful.
P.S. I'm sorry you're related to a dumb bohunk. Don't put that.
Okay,
scratch
I'll
it out.
cross it out.
Worry about your dad.
Yeah.
Meet me in the gardens at midnight.
Ooh.
Oh,
I'll bring
All right.
the hot chocolate.
All right.
And we'll make sure there's hot chocolate.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's bold
Yeah.
to say when. So you write these letters and you send them off
Be a dog.
via doggies. And that about wraps up that time, unless if your characters had something that they were yearning to learn or say to another during this period of everyone is just speaking with one another, and the duels begin on the morrow.
I
Really-
actually
Okay.
really want to talk to Miracle.
Mhm.
Miracle, are you the only? Do you have people?
Yes, I have an
No?
entire city that I came from.
Okay. I mean, lone survivor. I'm not sure what the details are on that. Would you say that your city is growing a lot right now?
It's growing, yes, but that is not why I'm a survivor. It seems related in the things that are going on with you.
I just
There was a storm. Pretty bad one. And normally lightning is what we use to power our ships. But there was purple lightning in the skies. And
Wow.
we thought maybe it was stronger than the other lightnings. And it would power our city for longer. So we flew into it trying to catch it. Did not end well.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
And she looks at Mariah and she says, the rumors that reached us were that your people were involved.
That doesn't surprise me. There are certain parties that wish to credit my...
I believe you. Considering everything that's going on here.
Do you
I mean,
guys, I mean,
so
do
far
you-
you've given me no reason not to believe you. But there are things beyond us here that are going on in other places. So it would make sense that it's not just you.
Also, Mariah, I get really good vibes off of you because you believe in the power of love.
That too.
Because we wrote these letters for the boys.
Does anyone else feel like maybe we are being pitted against each other to maybe keep us from putting a bigger picture together? Because I'm having some stuff happening in Donner's Grove too, and I'm just realizing that we've all come here with a very pointed idea. Like, we all have our fingers pointed at one person in particular,
another. So
but it seems to be affecting everyone.
what is there to be gained by breaking the Everpiece?
By breaking it?
Yes, because it seems like what they're trying to do. Like, is there some sort of gain to breaking the Everpiece between us?
If
Does
the
that
Everpiece is
affect
broken,
heteronormia or whatever the fuck that town is called?
yes, it affects everyone who has previously contributed, who has taken oath under the Everpiece. If it is broken, that means everyone is free to attack other societies at will. They can expand without caring about how it affects others. They can do what they will. Like, they can poison the air. They can poison the lands. They can hack down trees. They have free reign of doing what they want without any consequence. Having the Everpiece is that each society says, I swear that our society will not go beyond, this certain territory that was given to us, and we are not to intrude on other people's lands intentionally. If we do, then we will talk about it at the Yule Duel and resolve it peacefully without the Everpiece. Because if you break the Everpiece, that is a magical, contract, you could say, and all will know it instantly if it's broken. Every single person who is signed onto this, the Everpiece Treaty, and they are immediately taken in for judgment. So you can't escape it. But if
And
someone
yet,
were to break it and not
Be the one to break it, then they could do something that they wanted if somebody else were to break it for them, basically.
that is definitely a way through it, yes.
Which would be why they would pit people. Whoever wants it broken would want to pit people against each other.
If other people broke it, then it's basically, if issues happen and they are not resolved peacefully or with both sides equally agreeing to that resolution, the Everpiece is broken. And sometimes that's why you want to be careful. Like, you have to take note of, hey, like, this is happening and I didn't mean for it to. If you bring that forward, then you can help, fix it and reach a solution. But if you don't bring it forward, that would technically break the Everpiece, among other ways.
So, what is happening in your society, Mariah? We've all sort of discussed our issues, but
It's okay. Mariah, you can talk to us. I mean, I came in here not wanting to talk to really any of these two. I point to Holly and Ginger. But, I think after hearing everybody's stories that we have a lot of things in common. You're safe here. It's okay.
My people read the stars. And there was a moment where one of the brightest star in the sky turned red. An ill omen. Prophecy, truly. Horrible disaster is on its way. And I've been trying to garner support. Figure it out. Fix it. But met with resistance, likely due to the rumor spread of my.
Because do you not have anything wrong in your community?
No, not exactly.
So then you would seem a good scapegoat in that case if somebody wanted to set you up.
your society is a bit secretive because you move around so much, at least to us. Maybe.
And small, right?
Is it small? It's on the smaller side.
It's definitely a bit smaller than a regular one.
We are smaller and we do move around a lot. It's difficult to make connections. Move so frequently. Not that we are against people knowing us. You initiative.
I'm gonna give Mariah a string because she feels very strongly to people who feel isolated.
Oh. Mariah, that sounds like quite a burden that y'all have been having to bear. Especially with the what have you with the telling the fortunes and the stars and such. That sounds like quite a vast responsibility
Yeah, that
for
sounds.
you to deal with.
The nomadic lifestyle is not entered easily, but it is our lives. It's not a burden. I know this is coming in my heart, and I have been unable to prove it.
We are similar in that way. My city, it moves in the sky, so we are not usually stationary either.
Recently, you can prove it?
I need a few hours to confirm, but yes.
Okay.
So should we consult on how we want to go about these duels then?
Be
Information
honest,
is often gained in them.
I'm
Sorry.
not much of a fighter. I didn't really come to fight. I came to figure stuff out.
Yeah, I don't really want to fight either. It seems like a good way to focus on the wrong thing and not get our problems solved.
Well, the duels aren't necessarily physical duels, right? Like, they can be, like, word duels and, like, body duels, yes? Okay. So.
The proposals are not just proposals to duel.
I just look at Holly, who's probably got like the math symbols just like floating around her head right now.
Either that or hard eyes.
Either one.
One or the other.
Probably at the same time.
Amazing.
Proposals and we could have battles of wits? Oh my!
It does sound like what Miracle was saying a minute ago, that we all have quite a bit in common here. And we all stand to gain something for our clans by working together.
Can we help you prove this?
I just need some time to look over the evidence that I've gathered.
Is the person that you are suspecting, are they here at this Yule Duel?
Yes.
At that question, you hear this gong ringing in the background, just this doom, doom, and you hear these bells tolling in the distance, and you see everyone around you has fallen kind of quiet at this. And you all turn as you see, you're looking up onto where the queen is, and she is upon her throne at this time. This is getting kind of later in this day. And you see Fettersworth is rushing over to her, and he's draped over at the edge of her throne, and he pulls himself up, and he says,
The Artemis Sleigh is breaking. It's breaking.
And you see the queen raise an alarm, and she rushes off. Many in the crowd follow, because the Artemis Sleigh is not necessarily something that is tucked away. It is always on display for all to see. And it is a beautiful, massive sleigh. And it's been added on throughout the years, and you see there's actually this large carriage tied to the back, and it is the symbol of peace. It is upon this sleigh that at the end of every year, when everyone has made their oaths to the Everpeace, at midnight on the final day, the end of this year and the beginning of the next year, those who are deemed worthy to ride it go upon this sleigh, and they go around the entirety of the world, blessing everyone and giving goodwill to all, and also tying their oaths to the Everpeace. It is both symbolic and it is also like a literal tying to what you as the champion, as the representative of your society, of what you say. It binds you, and it goes around all across every society and every land, every corner of this world. That's the magic of this sleigh. And without it, you can't necessarily uphold this treaty. You can't hold everyone accountable to the oaths. Without that sleigh, you don't know who broke it or not. It is a very important piece to it. So this is the first time, as you all look upon it, that you can see pieces of that ancient wood beginning to crack and splinter, and it's beginning to slide a little bit apart from each other. You can see that something is wrong, and that this sleigh is reflective of that. Adira looks upon it in silence, and she turns to everyone else, and she's clasping her hands, and she says, I believe that will be all for this evening. It seems that there are many issues that need to be resolved quickly. I am sorry, but I must end the mingling early. Tomorrow we will begin the duels. We must find solutions to your society's issues. They are only growing. They are not being fixed. Something is happening that I do not quite understand. So please, everyone, if you would, go back to your rooms and stay the night. Tomorrow we will open it up so that you may issue out any sort of duels or proposals, what have you, for the issues that you have. Please do your best to find peace. And she bids you all a good night and turns in. You can see as she walks away, Feddersworth stays and he's looking at the sleigh, and he looks absolutely distraught. And he turns into the crowd as if he's trying to see someone, and eyes, and walks away.
Mariah, if you know who may be responsible for this, this is the time to share that information with us, so that way we can all come together tomorrow and take care of that.
Let us
Maybe
help.
let's go find a room first before we talk about this in the open.
Yeah.
Also,
All of us.
okay.
Okay.
On the way to the room, because this is not necessarily a secret, I say to Miracle, before we head to bed, would you mind coming with me to the sleigh and just kind of watching my back for a second while I take a look at it after we talk to everyone?
Of course. I always have your back.
Okay, thank you.
So you all make your way, and as you leave, you do take note that Bigley is in the crowd. And he's actually surrounded by a few notable people, and they are all giving you the same kind of narrow-eyed, kind of suspicious look. You can tell that while you have all been discussing your issues and trying to perhaps find connections or maybe resolutions to it, he has been doing the same. You see that those gathered around him are the Silent Knight, Noelle, Agatha, and Carol. And it seems that he too has been planting some seeds himself of doubt, of mistrust, and just sowing some discord among this group. You can get the
Classic.
sense that there are many others from that group kind of looking at each of you in a different way from before. You head up. Whose room are you going to? Where are you all going to meet?
Well, 69's on the ground level, so that one's probably closest.
Fair point. That is where you head, and that is where you will discuss.
Well, Mariah, whenever you feel comfortable and safe, of course, to share your information with us, we are listening to you.
I want to make sure we're not being followed.
Yeah, I station cinnamon and pumpkin and turkey out in the hallway.
Beautiful mix, yes.
And then I'm going to like open some of the flowing cloth and start pulling things out of stitched in pockets that are hidden by the way the fabric flows. Just kind of like lay it all out on the bed. Knock my water over at the same time.
Like you do.
The only thing I'm not putting out is the letter. That's still in the boob pocket. And then I'll just start moving things around. So we got kind of like the conspiracy wall with all the red yarn.
Yeah.
All the pins and the strings.
Yes.
Every D&D campaign ever.
D&D.
Yes.
Reference it at least once a week.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
As you can see, I've found this. I won't say where. But you can see the trees. Perfect for building. Magic. Perfect for source of life. Keys. And my clan circled many, many times.
What do you think this all means?
Trees.
That they're all related.
Everything that's happening is happening because somebody will benefit very much should things proceed.
And
Sherry.
what have you foreseen? You haven't been very forthcoming with that information. I feel like that's a very pivotal part of the story here.
It's metaphorical as opposed to specifically this is what I've seen. You know, destruction and disaster and mayhem and certain symbology all pointing toward the same thing.
Okay, and who is your primary suspect in all this then?
I'll give you 3 guesses and the first 2 don't.
Is it Carol, that bitch?
No.
No, sweet one. No.
Is
She's
it Bigley?
the worst.
Yes.
Is it
It's Bigley,
that,
isn't it?
that guy Bigley?
I mean, he's also the worst.
Yeah, he's like literally the worst.
Should have named him Punching
Okay.
Bag.
You guys don't know Carol, though. She's terrible.
I believe you.
It seems like it.
Yeah, but I never really got a chance to know Carol. I didn't really like Holly. I didn't really think I'd like you all that much, but you've really grown on me. So maybe maybe the queen is right. Maybe we really should take a chance to get to know some of these folk a little bit better before we pass judgment on them.
Oh, I know Carol quite well, so I'm going to pass on that.
Oh, my apologies. I didn't know that you had already had a relationship with her.
I wouldn't say it
my
like
mistake.
that.
Rough.
But she's terrible, so I'm going to not get around her. So
From what I can gather out of all this information, Bigley knows of our prophecy, what we've foreseen, and is actively working against us being able to gather any sort of foothold or support in convincing anyone to believe it.
If we're all fighting each other, then they're free to do whatever they want.
Well, can't we all just challenge Bigley in the duel together?
Do you have a way to prove that these documents are not from you?
I have one more.
I think
Pull out the boob letter.
Boob letter. Oh.
Sealed. It's still sealed. I haven't read it yet, but the writing is there.
It's a little damp from the cleavage, probably.
I'm a big woman. There is a lot of sweat. The
Yeah.
cat suit is not breathable.
but it makes your ass look really good, so there's that.
Thank you.
Worth it. It's a fair trade-off.
Fashion before comfort, my.
Always.
I disagree.
Well,
Heartily, I
sometimes.
disagree.
On
But
other people.
you do you.
Opening this letter will seal our fate, I'm sure.
Can I see it?
Of course. Over to Miracle.
Do I know this handwriting?
You immediately know that this is the handwriting of Fettersworth. You know it very well. And it just says on the front, Bigley. Nothing else. It is perfect cursive.
Found this with all of these other documents. If you like, you can leave now. Anyone to blame.
No.
I've gotta know. I gotta know what it says.
He works
I
with
think at this
Adira.
point-
I have to protect her.
At this point, I think we're all in this together. I mean, clearly defeating this common enemy will benefit all of us.
We have to
And
protect the Everpeace.
I put my hand out if anybody wants to hold hands for support.
Holly does.
Okay. Yeah, great.
So, Keisha, from my playbook, I picked used to disappointment, which unfortunately means that what just happened, because he's not here, I gain a condition.
Okay.
So, because he isn't here, I gain the condition.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know which one you want me to take, but
We're hopeless.
Yeah, you could say angry at the insinuations here. You could feel, yeah, it could be hopeless as well. I would say maybe angry.
yeah, because Adira is involved in all this then because of him. So yeah, I would say probably angry as well. So, and then my other question is, does everybody else have a string on me?
I have one
Yes.
string on you.
I don't have one on you.
You should, because I gave you one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I do.
Okay. So that makes a difference later on when we have to make rolls. So
Yeah.
I needed to know that. Because that's my other playbook move, so
So this anger fills up inside of you at seeing this and starting to maybe start putting some dots together, connecting some things. How do you deal with this? Is bubbling up inside
Gee.
you right now.
she begins to pace and she's been pretty calm and collected considering and until now. And now she's like pacing back and forth and she's like, this little weasel. There's been nothing but kind to him. Maybe a little absent, but nothing but kind to him. She was the first one after my accident to check on me and make sure that I was alright. She never blamed me for what happened. Even when this happened. And then, for the first time, She takes out her sword, and y'all see that it is little more than like a 2-foot-long dagger at this point. The blade itself looks like it's shattered, and it looks like it's shattered in a lightning bolt pattern that's been filled in with silver, and the end is like jagged where it was broken. So it's not a sword anymore.
Cool.
Wow.
She was there for me when no one else was.
So do you want to end this then?
I have to protect her. She would do the same for me.
In the letter.
So you open it up and you unfold it. And again, it is that just perfect curling handwriting. That's actually almost kind of hard to read. It takes you a moment to really decipher it.
I'm fluent in cursive.
Yeah.
I'm a millennial.
I learned cursive when I was a kid too. I know that.
Oh, it's the kind of cursive though that's like extra loops and dips and unnecessariness. And you read it. And it is not very long. It's pretty short. And it states,
My dearest Bigly, I know our time was very short,
Oh, jeez.
but it was very dear to me. And I know that you try every night so hard to deny it, but I cannot deny who I am or my feelings. I care for you deeply, and I want you to know this. And it's okay if you can't reciprocate those feelings. I understand. You've had a really hard upbringing. Your father was not the best, some would say. But I saw through that, and I saw the true you. And I have to admit that I fell in love with that person that I saw beyond that hard exterior. I know I'm not much to look at, and I know that maybe I don't have much to give, but maybe, just maybe, I hope that what I am and who I am could maybe be enough for you to accept. The Yule Duel is just around the corner, and I know that you have been chosen as one of the champions. A lot of people don't think so, but you have a big heart, and it is beautiful. And I know you will be there. On the last day of the Yule Duel, if you wish it, and if you want, I'll be waiting for you in the courtyard. You know where. And if you are there, then we'll continue from that point on. But if you are not, well, that's alright. I would understand entirely. Just know that I will always remember the time that we had together. Yours truly, Fettersworth.
He never even opened it, that bastard.
My feelings go up. I'm at 3 out of 4.
Oh no.
Dang it. Well, that's not what I was expecting. But good intel nonetheless.
There
Oh,
are a
it kind
couple
of
of ways
felt
to
like-
play this.
Felt like
Go ahead.
reading somebody's diary.
It was very personal.
Yeah.
But not in a good way, like in a book.
There are a few things that we could do.
Yes. You are a better person than I, Miracle.
Well, Miracle, you know
don't
him
know about
better than
that.
all of us, so perhaps it is you that should decide what to do next.
God, please don't make me the group leader.
Group leader, group leader, group leader, group leader.
Absolutely. You're so good at people. and knowing things.
Do it. Group
Thank you, Abby.
leader.
There are a couple of things that we could do. We could try, most likely unsuccessfully, to fix what happened between Bigley and Feathersworth. Or there are the boys.
Well, the
We can get
boys-
them to join their houses.
What is it? Did we get the hot chocolate to the courtyard?
It's not midnight yet. Calm down.
I think it's been days past that. Keisha said
I thought it was the same day.
days have passed.
No, this will be the end of the final day, and
Oh,
you guys
okay.
had done all this, so you have
Oh,
like an hour to decide before midnight.
I mean, we have to do that anyways because those boys. But
Destined.
anyways.
Destined.
Be
Can
gay
But-
times.
Can I offer
Yeah.
to make the hot chocolate? I have a recipe that I have perfected that has been in my family for 1,200 years.
Absolutely.
Holy moly.
It's
Sure.
not too hot, and we like to shake it, not stir it.
Are you quoting
Amazing.
directly from the Santa Claus?
Yes. I mean, no, I don't know what you're talking about. The only clause I'm familiar with is the Ever piece.
Well, disappointing on the letter. I thought it would be more. But still have.
I mean, that was pretty salacious. Honestly.
Oh, sweet bean.
I was hoping to expose a conspiracy.
not
not
smutty.
a broken heart.
Not smutty, but salacious.
But what is a broken heart but the worst of conspiracies?
Damn.
It's not one that I would use willy-nilly to my.
Me either,
Nobody
but
should be
there is.
outed against their will.
That is very true. So then the boys.
Hot
Okay.
cocoa.
We start with hot cocoa.
You have a recipe for those little marshmallows.
Oh yes, I love those little marshmallows. Rudy does too. I often give them to him as a treat when he's been a real good boy.
You doing well?
No.
Well, if
Thanks
you
for
two
the
want
raid,
to-
Lost Caravan. Hello, welcome in.
Oh,
Hi.
Hello.
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 I do want to at some point also try and spend a little time to do a skill with the sleigh because I can maybe divine.
Yeah, so my idea would be like while you're brewing the hot cocoa for the boys, we'll go take a look at the sleigh.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's fine.
at the same time.
We can divide and conquer.
So we'll start with the sleigh. What is it that you're trying to do? It's
So-
completely empty at this time of night, so.
Yeah, so when I have time and safety, I can read the unseen truth of something present. And with my kind of science knowledge, it's supposed to be divination, but I'm trying to play it as more of a science thing. And trying to figure out if there's anything like those the unseen that I could see. Maybe if there's some clues with that.
Okay. How does it work specifically in the playbook?
Oh, the
Do you
GM
have
will. Yeah, so if I get a 10, do you want me to roll?
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Oh, not great. So for spirit, I only have a +1, so that's an 8. So on a 7 to 9, Oh, maybe I was only allowed to know about a person and not a thing. Because I learned the truth in the clear condition.
It's all right. We'll still play with it. We're
Okay.
still trying to
It's
figure it
clear a
out.
broken condition of a sleigh.
Yeah.
Cracks in the wood a condition?
Yeah.
I mean, it's caused by a person. So, with the
Dun
8,
dun dun.
you can decipher that. So, the sleigh is a representation of all of the champions here. If they all work together in harmony, then it will be whole. But if there's anything going on, if there is anything to disrupt that harmony, if there is someone who is outright lying, if there is someone who is going against their oath, it will break. And that is a representation of that. Someone here is breaking their oath or not being true to themselves. And that is causing these splinters and shatters. The more this
Look,
happens,
if you're
the more it
alien,
will
I
break.
wouldn't put it past you.
So,
Someone or many someones.
can I assume from that if the armistice sleigh, or if the sorry, too many things, but the piece that we have,
Mm-hmm.
that the sleigh would, if it broke, the sleigh would also break completely.
Yes, if there was enough broken between a number of champions, this sleigh would shatter. So you can tell from these cracks, there's at least a couple of people that
Okay.
are at fault. Whether or not they know it.
So I would kind of explain that to Miracle, and I would also just kind of, I don't know, kind of talk about how I wonder if, kind of as we've come together, some other people have also come together of champions, and they are being probably pit against us because we were already supposed to be pit against each other. And I wonder if that puts the piece at a closer place to breaking, and maybe it's literally just the magic of the treaty, basically.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it
Mm.
makes sense to me. And if he was pitting them against us, we saw the way they were looking at us.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, Awful Carol hates me already.
I mean,
Okay, you need to
Noelle is
explain
my
to me
friend.
what
Maybe
happened with Carol.
Yeah,
I'm
why does she hate you so much?
I'm not exactly
Y'all weren't there.
sure, but Keisha said that I had met her before, so and I knew I was.
You've had many interactions, and you basically, your society is of the idea of magic should be free and everyone should use it, and hers is it needs to be controlled. It is wild, it is dangerous, it needs to have
Yeah.
only certain people can use it at certain times, and that's where that split
Okay.
was.
You casted prestidigitation. I'm gonna call the cops now.
Yes.
Frickin' Aaryn.
Nettle, what were you trying to say earlier?
I don't remember.
Oh,
Oh, no.
No worries.
You were saying that Noelle was your friend.
Oh, yes. Maybe I could try to talk to her. Maybe I could go see if she's up, try to knock on her door and see if I can get the scoop a little bit about what's going on with the other group.
Yeah, Ginger, I think we are of similar minds. I was thinking pretty much the same thing as you. I wouldn't exactly call them a friend, but Silent Night and we have an understanding. I'm not really sure what that is because it's pretty nonverbal, but I think I could perhaps try and talk to her a little bit as well.
Okay.
Anybody else know any of them? Because Carol is not going to talk to me.
I mean, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right, Holly?
Absolutely.
I know Agatha.
Is there damage between the two of you?
Sort of. I talked to her this afternoon, though.
Maybe
It's
see
probably
that
completely fixed. There's nothing to worry about.
Okay, but maybe make sure.
And I guess you could say that I know Agatha too, so I guess I could probably speak with her as well. I have been wanting to have a conversation with her again. It's been a couple days, so I could also probably try and talk to her.
Holly's eyes get really big when you're implying that. And she's like, oh,
No.
okay.
You have 10 minutes till midnight for this last day.
I'm gonna take the hot cocoa and rush it out to the garden.
Yeah, it's still nice and hot.
So you see that Claus is already there. Nervously, like pacing. He's kind of rubbing his hands
Aw.
together, and he seems to be talking to himself, and he'll stop and go, "No, stupid. Okay."
Is he the one that we
Messing.
said was gonna have the hot cocoa, or was that Nicholas that we said was gonna have the hot cocoa?
I don't remember who said what.
We just said that it was that the other one would bring the hot cocoa.
Hot cocoa would be supplied.
And so
Okay.
yeah.
So, I will just straighten my back and carry the tray over and lay it down on a table or garden table or whatever. Go and walk away.
He just goes, I am here to admire the moon. It's so
Gorgeous.
bright.
Cloudy outside tonight.
Oh, no.
Are you nervous?
Darn.
Did we all go traipsing through here, or is it just you?
You tell me.
I think it's just Mariah.
Okay.
Anybody wanted to come, I wasn't gonna stop you.
Yeah.
Holly would totally ruin it. I think Miracle would have told me not to go.
Yeah, no, I would. Yeah, like you would have started taking off, and I would have I don't know, grabbed you by the collar or something, and just
Oh,
no,
okay.
no,
I'll
you
stay.
stay here with me, love.
Okay, I'm just dropping off hot cocoa. What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
So the emotionally cold and useless trickster will now attempt to assist the awkward boy with his feelings.
Okay.
Yeah. No problem. I see no issue here.
Oh, are you nervous?
I know you are, but what am I?
Okay to be nervous.
No, it's not. It's not manly. It's
Okay, how about
not
you
okay.
have a seat and put your head between your knees because you're going to pass out.
And he just slumps immediately. And you just, his hands behind his head, he's just.
I very awkwardly just kind of pat his back.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's better. Okay. I'm sorry. Why are you here? No offense. I don't mean to be.
I brought hot cocoa with the little mini marshmallows.
Did you know that I was gonna be here?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm very flattered. But you see, some people, there's many rivers that people can float down, and you're going this way, and
Put the boy out of his misery.
I'm on a different river.
I'm aware of what river I'm on.
Oh,
And I'm aware that you were not bringing me here.
Oh.
So before the other party comes, really in more than one way, I'm going to leave.
No pressure.
You're going to enjoy your hot cocoa with your friend who arrives.
Oh. He's utterly speechless. He doesn't know how to react to that at all.
Nod your head if you understand. He'll come. In more than one way, hopefully.
Oh, you're saying that.
I'm sorry, I'm hypersexual.
If they want them to. If they want to.
If they want to. If you consent,
more
if you're into
voices here.
that. You know, if you're ace, that's totally okay, not required. But yourself.
Oh no.
Nothing to oh no about that. If he arrives, he arrived for you.
I'm trying.
Okay.
This is almost as bad as Aster and Ram.
I mean,
It's
she's
just
doing her best.
painful to watch those two.
She's doing her best, you guys.
He'll be fine.
But will it?
What
What if-
happens if it isn't fine?
I'm.
It hurts a little bit,
Yeah.
and that's awful.
Mhm.
We grow from pain. I don't wish it upon you. It may happen, I don't deny that. Take a deep breath. Let it happen as it happens.
I'm almost some ways more scared that if something did happen and if particular people found out and they weren't particularly okay with it and I don't have their approval anymore and I don't know what I would do.
The only approval you should seek is your own. Can't live a lie.
That's true. I am tired of lying.
And panicking is not gender specific.
Well, that's good to know. Because I have a lot of that.
And that's totally okay.
Well, thank you for your words and the random cocoa. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome. Now I'm going to leave. You're going to settle
Okay. Yeah.
and be here soon.
Okay.
Thanks for the bits, Lost Caravan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for enjoying our gayness. I just kind of give him another awkward pat and then walk back to our room feeling different. Gross.
I know, did your feelings go up again?
I just double check.
So as you're leaving, for any of you, does anyone stay to see what happens, or do you all make your way back to your bedrooms for the night? Or
Yeah,
something else?
I need to check on Rudy, so I'll probably retire to my bed. But I think I would stop by Agatha's room first and just give like one quiet knock on the door and see if anything happens.
There is silence.
Okay, I'm a little dejected by that, but I gotta go check on Rudy anyways, so I go check on him in his little stable and, give him a cold compress on the head and shine his antlers a little bit.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Holly says to Miracle, "Do you want to go see if the boys are hitting it off?"
That's so creepy.
No, why don't we
Hitting it
go?
No. Don't want to see that.
Why don't we go for a walk in a different part of the castle?
Okay.
I'm
Burn
Burn
gonna
off some of that energy.
talk to Noelle. Would you guys maybe like to reconvene after I do so? So that way I can tell you if I hear anything new and interesting.
Sure. Meet at your room in, say, like an hour?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Come
stick
on,
to
Holly,
the
let's go.
hedgerows. I'm gonna stick to the hedgerows just to see if.
Fucking better.
A lot of work went into this.
Hard work, man.
There was a smiley face and everything.
I made the mini marshmallows from scratch. Did you tell them that?
No.
Well, it's ruined.
That's
Everything
why you
is
blow up.
awful.
So you wait, and eventually it's midnight. And then it's 12:05. And then it's 12:10. He's pacing back and forth, and he's beginning to talk to himself again. He has a cup that he's holding this whole time and sipping at it and going, "Oh, that's lovely. Don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. Okay." And eventually, you see Nicholas appear. And Claus notices, and he immediately stiffens, and there's an awkward moment as the two look at each other. And Claus starts to nod to himself, and he doesn't know what to do with the cup. He sits it down, he picks it up, he moves it over, he turns it, and looks at Nicholas, and he's like, "Okay, so, for some time, you're so, so I am wanting to be me by being here, and you," and Nicholas just strides up to him and he says, "Just shut up," and just kisses him immediately.
Oh,
And the
yay!
two embrace, and you can just tell from the way that they are just holding each other that they have wanted to for so long. And this is the first time that they finally felt able to, and you can see that, yes, it was cloudy, but suddenly the clouds part and the moonlight shines down on them. And
You're from the hedges. Gay!
It's so gay. I love it. It's literally so gay.
That puts my feelings to 4.
Oh no! What happens when that happens?
Bad things, but carry on.
No.
Figure out how to traumatize myself while you do that.
Oh, no.
Excellent.
Oh no.
And the two are just holding each other, and eventually they break away, and Claus just says, do you want some magically appearing cocoa?" And Nicholas just says, "I would love to." And the two spend the rest of the night just sipping cocoa, talking to each other, their arms entwined, Claus putting his head on Nicholas's shoulder, and they're just looking up at the stars.
It's so cute.
It's okay.
Yes.
God damn it. Like a Hallmark Christmas movie.
I know. I love
Yeah,
it.
it is.
Everybody
you
got
spend the rest of the night. So going over to Ginger, you were trying to go over to Noelle's room and speak with her. You go up to her door. And you do you
Getting
choose to
attacked
knock?
by like
Ashta.
Hi, Pasta. There she
So,
is.
walking up to the door, you hold up your hand, ready to knock, and something gives you pause as you hear something beyond the door, and you lean in, and you can hear sobbing on the other side.
knock. But I'm gonna do a shave and a haircut, which is what we used to do when we were kids. And I'm gonna go ahead. This is risky, but I'm gonna go ahead and like crack the door and like, hey, can I give you a hug?
So you do that, and the second that door cracks open and your voice calls out to her, you hear that it immediately stops. And you can kind of peer around and you see her small form on the floor, and she's just kind of quickly just
No, it's
straightens
okay.
herself, and she turns. Hi, what a surprise! What
Hey,
are
I'm
you
sorry
doing?
for just barging in. I didn't mean to make you feel as if you needed to stop. I simply meant to offer you some comfort. Are you okay? What's
I'm completely fine. There's nothing wrong. I don't
what's
know what gave you
happening
that
with you?
idea.
What's happening?
Nothing. No, I'm perfectly fine. You do not need to worry yourself over me. It really, I feel so terrible that you would worry and waste your time on me.
It's not a waste of time, but I heard you crying through the door. So I know that something isn't normal because you don't usually cry like that when you are happy. Uh and also like I'm kind of hoping to ask you if you knew what's going on here. If you heard something earlier maybe?
What do you mean?
I mean, we were having some different conversations with some different people earlier, and it seems like you talked to the people that I didn't get a chance to talk to. Uh,
The whole time she's just like, just smiling the whole time, almost as if just trying so hard to keep that smile. Just, mhm, mhm, mhm.
dang, you're
I,
being weird. You're not acting like a human right now.
mhm. uh, I don't know what to say. I, I mean, it's been a while since we've really seen each other, and people change in that time. Uh, I mean, it's fine. W- We've grown apart a little bit, and that happens. It's okay. It's okay. So, nothing's going on. And I've heard some things, but it that's what the duels are for. So, if there's issues, then they will be brought to light tomorrow, and that's how we figure it out.
Okay.
Anyway, um, I think it's getting really late. You should head to bed.
Yep.
Um,
I'm
I,
not gonna like force you to talk to me, but I want you to know that you can if you need to.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. So if you don't, she's kind of like trying to
Yeah.
push you out the door, and
Yep. I'm backing
yep,
out.
no,
Closing the door.
yep,
Yep.
you,
Good night.
yep. Have fun with your friend. Closes the door,
Oh, snap.
locks the door.
Well,
There it
um,
is.
Yep. I'm just gonna kind of mosey back to my room and consider my life. Just think about what I've done to poor Noelle. Poor tiny Noelle.
Aw.
But when I get back, assuming that we do meet up in an hour, I will convey pretty much everything as I experienced it to the best of my ability, so that way you guys can really get a sense for the things unsaid and also that revelation.
I did want to go on a walk with Holly before we did that, though.
Yes.
Before we met up
How-
with everybody.
let's
So, like, I
explore
take them in a, like, I take Holly in a different direction than where the boys were supposed to be going. Somewhere else.
that.
You sure you don't want to go by there just to make sure everything's going okay?
I'm sure it's going fine.
I'm sure that it's fine. Mariah has it well in hand. I'm sure everything's fine.
Okay.
I hope.
I just want to make sure they get their happily ever after.
Oh,
I
they will.
think that we all want that, my dear. So I wanted to thank you for all that you've done in the last few months for me, helping me.
Oh, it's no problem. I mean, you know, I'm so glad that we got to finally meet up like this because, I mean, honestly, you've been my best friend. You've been the person that I've talked to through everything. So, of course, I want to be there for you. And I know that you've had a really tough time since that mission. And anything I can do.
You've already done so much with helping me fix my sword and everything. It was kind of you.
I wish I could do more. And Holly just kind of is bouncy a little bit, and she's like, "Would you mind if I hugged you?"
Oh.
I think I would like that very much.
Okay. And so she hugs you, and she's like, I just didn't. You know, it's hard when you meet somebody really in real life for the first time, but we've been talking so long, and I just really wanted to hug you.
So, Miracle is smitten with Holly.
Aww.
Yes!
Excellent.
The first smitten of the game.
You're smitten.
Okay, so you get a string from me,
Okay.
and then
In addition to
why?
the other one I already had?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I have to answer the question, why do you think they would be wrong to forgive you? And so, like, after you let go, she sort of, like, holds you out at arm's length, and she just says, I'm no good for anyone. I've proven that quite miraculously. I drove into that storm without thinking, and I got so many people killed. If you were smart, you would run away.
I am smart, and I'm not going to run away. People make mistakes. You can't have all the answers. You have to experiment, and you obviously didn't mean for anyone to get hurt. The information you had, you thought that was the lightning that would just be like the regular lightning. There's no way you could have known. We've all had to deal with these weird magic things that are happening. And you've been there for me, and, you know, I'm really worried about losing all the magic in my city and what that'll mean for everyone in Dashur, but you've been there for me.
My cat's chewing on my headphones. Cat. I mean, of course, you're my best friend as well. Like, I don't have anyone that I'm close with, not really. Adira's a friend, sure, but it's more physical than that. Or at least it used to be. Not so much lately, but
Like I can't tell you. I was so isolated until we started writing to each other, and I just, I don't know how to be a good friend or anything else. I'm just so lucky that I've gotten to get to know you over these last years.
this has been quite nice. And your exuberance for life has been infectious. You make the world brighter everywhere that you go. You have your own magic. Regardless of what is going on with your people. Don't forget that. And I sort of like tilt her chin up a little bit.
I think I'm also smitten.
Oh. This is so sweet.
I sort of tilt Holly's chin up so that like they're looking at they're looking face to face, and just like just very gently holding onto your chin. And she says, "If you're okay with it, I'd like to kiss you."
Yes, please.
Aw.
And then I kiss her.
Yay! Oh.
This is so freaking cute, you guys.
No.
I love this game.
Okay.
It's so sweet. It's like
Keisha, was it that crazy trying to talk to Veda last time around? Because oh my god, that was a lot of work.
I know. Oh man.
Whew.
It's all that preparing backstory, guys.
Yeah.
It's all worth
Yeah.
it now.
wow.
Eventually, like, I would just walk Holly back to somebody's room and probably mine and be like, "You're welcome to stay the night if you like."
I'd like that.
Aw.
And then we had
Holly.
like the best slumber party ever.
Yeah.
Before
lots
before
of
that.
cuddling.
Before that, you did say that you were smitten, Holly. So
Oh,
you do
yes.
have to answer a question. What obvious thing about you are you sure would make them reject you?
Oh, I absolutely know that, especially that if my arm stops working because of the magic, that I feel like I would not be the greatest. It would make me not as lovable, and I would be very insecure about that. And I'm really concerned about that with the magic being taken from my city, that all of our magic infused things will stop working.
I don't care what you look like. That doesn't matter to me. And like I said, you make your own magic everywhere that you go. And regardless of whether or not your arm works, I don't care. I like you just the way that you are. If you start crying for real, I'm gonna start crying for real, so don't.
Try not to.
I might cry for real. Oh god, it's so
Totally
good.
fine.
I mean, it is a Friday night, so it's par for the course, but still.
True. What's a Friday night without tears?
Right?
Woman!
She's yelling at me.
What now, Gaymaster?
Alright, well, that is a good question. So this portion of the 12 days of the Yule Duel has ended. The first 3 days of which is spent where you all speak with one another, get to know one another, and now as the time has come for the following day when challenges can be issued between champions to work out any grievances or gripes, anything of that sort between one another. That being said, it is late. I don't know how much longer everyone is probably going to want to play.
Two.
So,
Yeah, I'm hitting a wall right now. I'm
yes.
trying, but kids wake up so early.
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
But I would love to do a part 2.
I would be down for that as well. And I'm off school until halfway through next month.
Oh, all right.
Okay, well, I sort of planned a lot of one-shots, so I'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
So watch our Instagram for part 2 of Sleigh Bitch Sleigh. I don't know, what do you want to call that part? The running?
Sure.
The flight?
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Perfect. So follow us on Instagram. We'll drop that information, or you can join our Discord, where we usually post a lot of shit. And it's a lot of shit talk and shit posting, but it's also wholesome and fun. And watch out for the gremlins. Don't feed them after midnight.
Yeah.
Just going to go around the table quickly, introduce ourselves, starting with Gaymaster Keisha.
Hey everyone, I am Keisha. I am one half of a podcast called Potions and Potpourri. We are just two nerdy gals where we talk about mainly D&D, but other TTRPGs as well. We are mostly active on Instagram, but you can also hit us up on Facebook probably. And nope, just kidding. That's not
Google.
there.
You can
The
email us
Google.
at gmail.com
That's what I meant to
or
say.
find us on TikTok.
This is why I don't do this part of that. Yes. Potions and Potpourri. Find us in places. Thank you.
Perfect. Aaryn.
I am the director of Even Footing Games, and we write fun TTRPGs. We wrote one called Babies and Broadswords. You can buy it on Amazon, DriveThruRPG, and order through your local bookseller. Yay! We're also on all those things at Even Footing Games. The TikToks and the Instagrams and the not Twitters right now, because we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Nettle, new to the game, new to our channel, but we're happy to have you. Tell us about you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here too. I am an artist and a TTRPG player. You can find me on the socials at NettleBaby with 2 Y's.
Yeah, we can. Kayla, looking so cozy. I
I'm
want to
so
be cozy.
I got a vest and I got 2 blankets.
Yeah, that is how it's done.
And I've been having some feels. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm Kayla.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not
been
crying.
so
You're crying.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm Kayla. I'm the second half of the Potions and Potpourri podcast. And as Keisha so eloquently put it, you can find us wherever you get your shows, typically, as well as Instagram, where we are super active, and that's where we post all of our updates. I'm like Keisha's forever player in the games that we never show people outside of our world. And I also play with Aaryn on DM Rick from Hampod's Strixhaven game, as well as the Cantrips and Coffee Spelljammer stream.
Yeah.
2 of our very good friends we are associated with.
They're good people.
They are good people. You can find them here on Twitch as well as wherever you get your podcasts. Yep. Hammer of the Gods, Potions and Potpourri, Cantrips and Coffee, and Old Men Rolling Dice are our podcast partners. Artemis.
Yeah, I'm Artemis. I'm the content coordinator, social media manager, the resident crazy lady of the Voctaire. I help Afi sort of maintain this place, and yeah, I'm always here. I don't really ever leave, so.
Yep.
Truth, you're always online.
And I wouldn't be able to do it without her because I'm Affy and I run the Vactair. But without Artemis, I would run it into the ground because I am not that organized. So you can catch me as Affy the DM pretty much anywhere, or on the Vactair social medias. I can be reached there. Join our Discord, have some fun, donate to Extra Life, go check out CanadianDice.ca, use the code TheVactair for 10% off.
And also, congratulations on 30 successful one-shots in 1 year.
Yeah, congratulations, you guys. That's incredible.
And we got 2 more that we're doing before New Year's, so...
Amazing.
Two more to
You
go
are amazing.
for our 10 days of tabletop on the 28th and the 30th. Right here, we've got a Planetoid of Misfit Toys on the 28th at 8 o'clock. And the Frozen Spire. Planetoid of Misfit Toys is a Spelljammer holiday one-shot. The Frozen Spire is going to be based off of A Familiar Problem, which was featured on Critical Role from the Darrington Press. And that's on the 30th. So... come and check us out. We got lots of fun. And then our regular campaign streams are returning in January. Those are Mondays and Fridays. So thanks, everybody. Thank you to the wonderful players. Again, watch our social medias for part 2, Electric Boogaloo. And we're going to raid somebody because we need to pay it forward. Thank you so much for the raid, Lost Caravan RPG.
Yes,
and the
thank you.
bits, and just coming in and joining our gayness. We will.
Keisha, thank you.
Thank you, Keisha.
Yeah, thank you, Keisha.
Yeah, you guys
So
make
much
it
fun.
atmosphere.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.